and think, geez, there, but for the grace of the devil, go I, apparently. It's, I think it's a little backwards or something. So I'm enjoying the crap out of it. Give me a freaking break. Oh, Lord. I can't stop. Sorry. And I had a great day. In fact, I flounder, and will appreciate this more than Pete. But between stable visits, I went to the driving range, hit balls at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I figured nobody. And sure enough, there were like 8 people there. It was 98 degrees, and I had 2. By Sunday, I had the best ball hitting session I may have ever had. Certainly since I started hitting balls again. I haven't played in 6-7 years, but since I hit ball, I had the best session. I found the ultimate timing. I'm so happy about it. And I had plenty of water, so I was there. And they thought I was going to drop dead every time I'm trying to face if there was a breeze, I took my hat off and was trying to get all the breeze I could into my shirt. Anyway, so I had a great way. I know between the horses and hitting golf balls and working on the show. I mean, and I did. I saw the Braves when they were on Fox because they couldn't stop them. I was at the Saturday game. So I got to see the Braves. So boom, bam,
they lose.
Yeah, well, they sure, but it's still we were on. Well, the freaking Yankees. I mean, man, those big and one of those big monster guys is hurt. Giancarlo or one of the others, Giancarlo Stanton. But those freaking bombers, I mean, they just slap it and it goes 420. I mean, it's unbelievable. Those just big muscle bulls. Anyway, whatever. All right, 312, almost 313. It's a beautiful day. We got newsies. What's the matter? We all right?
I went for breakfast this morning, and there's a horrible crash up here on the highway. I think it's Highway 5 or 575 or something like that. Yeah. A prison bus smacked into a cement mixer.
Oh, no. And what happened?
Yeah. Police are looking for hardened criminals.
Hardened criminal. I swear to God, I was going to go to the break, and Flounder, you got to start warning me or something, because there's got to be like a cue or something. Oh, God. All right, 313. 313, Kim Repeat and Flounder, Lucas in the back. It's a beautiful Monday. Join us, 404-741-1230. Come on, it's fun. We're going to talk the debate. What do you think? All stuff, this political stuff, it's all happening right now. And wait to hear what the Democrats are going to go watch it. Coming up with the Kim Repeat and Flounder. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Who can use force to deprive you of your life, your property, or your liberty? The government. That's a pretty large hammer to be hanging over your head, but there's a safety valve, jury duty. Because in America, the government cannot deprive you of life, liberty, or property unless a jury of your peers agrees.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Get ready for Real Talk on the Janelle King Show, where we tackle kitchen table topics that are banned from family gatherings, but crucial for a strong republic. Tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday for an encore episode at 9 a.m. And if you can catch us live, great. But if not, no worries. New podcasts drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park right here on Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcast. Join us for insightful conversations that matter.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Ventrac. Not everyone has a need for a tractor, but for those of you who do, you need to check out Ventrac Tractors. Ventrac is the ultimate versatile compact tractor. Property managers and golf courses know that Ventrac protects the turf better than anything else. And all of our users benefit from the ability to mow in wet conditions, conquer steep slopes, heavy brush mowing, and much, much more. Georgia, get your Ventrac at Howard Brothers. The grass, and if you need a tractor, you've got lots of it, is always greener when you take care of it with Ventrac and Howard Brothers.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the Podcast Park. See you around, Atlanta.
on this episode of The Real Houses of Atlanta.
Whoa, Bobby, what's going on?
Well, now that I'm the HOA president, I'm going to start cracking down on the neighborhood.
With a sledgehammer?
Oh, look, this place is looking rough, and nobody's moving right now either. So I'm telling the neighbors it's time to fix up the homes they have.
And what do you suggest?
Well, I'm telling everybody on the block about Exovations. They're right here, and they can get your house the facelift it needs. We're talking new siding, roofing, windows, doors, decks, even porches, patios, and porticos. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to start with Jim next door. Hey, Jimmy, you got a window out. Check the bylaws.
Hi, this is Candace with Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. Avoid an HOA headache and let us give your home the facelift it needs. We'll introduce you to our ExoVision, our very own architectural design that allows you to envision your home's transformation before you even start the project. Ready for your on-time, on-budget, and stress-free renovation? Visit exovations.com and book your consultation today.
AgPro is celebrating the grand opening of their new location at 800 Progressive Way on Friday, June 28th and Saturday, June 29th. If you've been thinking about a John Deere riding mower, a compact tractor, utility tractor, a skid steer, or excavator, stop into AgPro for the best prices of the year. We have all of your residential riding and zero-turn mowers, as well as a full line of commercial mowers, and AgPro has the largest selection of steel equipment around. So stop in for lunch on Friday, June 28th or Saturday, June 29th during the grand opening of AgPro in Marietta. Get more info online at AgPro.
Calls take priority. So Flounder says, all right, we got Martin on the line. So I actually put a sheet of paper with the name Martin on it, right? I'm showing it up to YouTube right now in front of my birthday and history list to make sure that I would not neglect our phone callers. And guess what? Martin hung up. All right, fine. Be that way. We have an open line, I believe.
Poughkeepsie, you're on the air.
If I said, all right, well, take your text right now. Open your text line. Here's the text number. I wouldn't be able to answer them all.
Right.
Anyway, 319. So our birthday list includes Mick Fleetwood. 77, Fleetwood Mac. Now, they list his big hits, too many to count, as Go Your Own Way, Dreams, The Chain, Rhiannon, and Don't Stop. Those are not the best hits. The best hits are Say You Love Me, Hold Me, Got a Hold of Me. I could go on and on. Anyway, Mick Fleetwood, 77.
He didn't write any of them anyway. So.
I know. Well, I like the Christine ones where she calls me baby. And my other two now, that I can't stop listening to that Miranda Lambert with The House That Built Me. I tell you, it's some of the most beautiful music. There are three. I should do a little Facebook thing. There are 3 notes on that song where she says, "If you let me come inside, I swear I won't take nothing. I'll only leave with a memory for the house that built me." It's so beautiful. It's just the sound of it. And
I have it right here.
That one. There it is now. Thank you. Thank you. Says the guy with a girlfriend. Yeah, rub it in, why don't you? I might. In fact, I should just go gay. I should just. Is there like a course or? What the hell do you have to do? Oh, criminy. All right. Oh, by the way, check this out. 1957 on this day. No, we're not gay, but we are willing to learn. 1957, SCOTUS rules, Supreme Court. SCOTUS rules, obscene language is not the same as free speech, and obscenity is not protected by the First Amendment. That was 1957. And check this out, given what's going on in the news right now. 1982, Supreme Court ruled that a president cannot be sued for damages connected with actions taken as part of his official presidential duties. Now, where does that say duty? Where does that sound familiar? Now he's going, the court case is whether or not he can be charged with a crime for presidential duties. The Supreme Court has already said a president cannot be sued for damages. Now, that was 1982, and again, who knows what they're going to do on this one. And I just heard the guys right before us and on the news, apparently the Supreme Court's going to be releasing decisions into July. Normally, it's the end of June, they're done, but they still have some more, including presidential immunity. My guess is they're going to say it's partially correct. His official duties are protected, but you got to determine what those official duties are. I assume they're going to try to split the baby here. But anyway, so that may be going on for a while. 404-741-1230. Okay, let's get going. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 322. It's a beautiful, hot day. It's okay with me. I hit balls at 98 degrees. You know what? I loved it. I couldn't freaking be happier. Drinking ice water and sweating.
Isn't that like straight up in the air?
Kind of.
98 degrees?
I damn felt like it. I mean, it was hot.
How hot was it?
I played golf in Phoenix when I was at Arizona State. Came back from the Marines, and used to play golf. We'd tee off at 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning in the summertime because it got to 109. I think I played once at 112 degrees or something in Phoenix. It's 1970 or whatever. Anyway, Donald Trump says he's picked his running mate, and they will probably be at the. Then he said the person he picked will most likely attend Thursday's debate, and then he says they'll be there. I think we have a lot of people coming. They'll be there. I'll be announcing it right around the time of the convention, which is July 15th in Milwaukee. So he's got it picked. Now, any new guesses, Flounder, Pete, of who it'll be?
Well, apparently he did a secret trip to Ohio this weekend, so I wonder if it's Vivek.
Vance. I think
No,
J.D.
Vance. Vance.
I'll tell you, the two guys who impressed me the most are J.D. Vance and that Byron Donalds from Florida, that young black guy, congressman.
Yeah,
but again, he's young.
Him.
Nobody knows it. But that J.D. Vance is a real whippersnapper.
Will he shave his beard? I'm telling you, a lot of women don't like men with beards.
I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't. Everything's a thing. Chicks, man, freaking chicks. Everywhere you go, well, suburban women. Well, I mean, okay, well, what? You can't lump them into all one thing anymore. Anyway, but he says he's picked the person, and so we're all going to find out shortly. Also, President Stupid Face, but he left the White House last Thursday, and he's not going back until after the debate. He's taking 8 days to try to get a brain infusion and put some more veins in his arms for the, pumping in the amphetamine. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? And by the way, God, would I love to be inside that debate preparation room. Can you imagine how somebody says, well, you can't go too tough on him. Oh, no, let him have it. Like, do what Trump's going to do. And oh, man. I mean, I wish there was. I hope that someday someone will leak like videotape or audio tape of those sessions.
Wouldn't you think, as President of the United States, getting daily briefing from the most intelligent people we have about everything that's going on in the world,
all day,
that
every
would
day.
be the prep you need?
That's right, exactly. Yeah. Donald Trump's doing it. He's, doing rallies, and he's doing this thing. I mean, I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. This is absolutely, and I can't wait. I just can't wait. And by the way, they have various locations if you want to go watch the debate. There are debate parties or whatever you call them, debate gatherings. The Republicans have some at the Adventure Outdoors, at Hudson Grill Midtown, Coors Steakhouse on Franklin Gateway in Marietta, Midtown Hilton Garden Inn for the Republicans. The Democrats have have their watching sessions at the Sodomy City by the Green in the Piedmont Park location. They're going to have a contest, the largest Adam's apple, which I think is pretty interesting. Democrats will also be going to the Lickety Split Emporium in Midtown. Free tongue ring punctures for all those who are watching. This is going to be huge. Screams and Scrotums Cafe. That's the one near the airport. Vice President Shiftless and Lazy official side piece Carmela will be going to make a personal appearance because she likes making fun of white guys guys when they take their clothes off, which is kind of cool. And one more, there's a whole bunch more where the Democrats will be watching debate. The Gwinnett County Twins and Trannies Lounge in Lawrenceville. So again, those are just a few of the locations. We'll have several more for you. We'll have more locations of where the Democrats are going to watch the debate Thursday night. And by the way, the Babylon Bee's got a couple of the early questions. And Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage was given the questions at the last time she was in debate by CNN. Gave her
Brazil.
Yeah. Gave her the questions. Well, Babylon Bee's got the first of the 4 questions going to be asked coming up on this debate on Thursday. Which of President Trump's crimes should he be executed for? That's the first question for both of them. Second question, are you a convicted felon? That's both candidates. If you were on a boat with a giant battery and the boat started to sink and there were sharks in the water, would you stay on the boat and risk electrocution or jump in the water and risk a shark attack? Just like Abraham Lincoln and John Breckinridge were asked in 1860, by the way. And one more. Please demonstrate your fitness for being president by standing perfectly still with your arms stiffly to the side and staring blankly ahead. Biden's been practicing this for years. 327 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Oh, by the way, the CNN deal. If you haven't heard this, or you just joined us, what a story. Anchor Casey Hunt was interviewing Caroline Leavitt from the Trump campaign this morning on CNN. And the anchor from CNN pulled the plug because she didn't like the way that her guest was talking, trying to support Donald Trump when her cohorts in crime on CNN were the ones blasting Trump as a Nazi. Anyway, here's how this started with CNN this morning.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate.
I mean, my God. The woman was... And by the way, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are the two hosts of the debate. In fact, let's play the sound bites. Flounder, let's play... I think you have Jake Tapper first. Jake Tapper here in the past talking about Donald Trump, and Jake Tapper is going to be hosting the debate with Donald Trump Thursday. I heard a little something there for a second.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. Donald Trump, a couple times over the weekend, referred to immigrants from South America, Africa, and Asia. He did not mention Europe. South America, Africa, and Asia as, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, which it's not hyperbole. That does very directly echo Adolf Hitler's language before World War II. Open up a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf. You would find the Nazi leader describing the mixing of non-Germans with Germans as poisoning. There's really no other way to say it. Donald Trump's language mirrors this directly.
That's Jake Tapper, who would be hosting the debate. And do we have a little Dana Bash in there also, Flounder?
Yeah, this is Jake Tapper and Dana Bash combined.
Oh, goody, the double whammy.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. This time given life by former president and current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump.
Let's recognize this comment for what it is, a long-standing anti-Semitic trope that the true allegiance for Jews is to their religion rather than their country. It was used in Nazi Germany to justify the arrests, persecutions, and mass killings, attempted extermination of the Jewish people. And Trump has been pushing this trope for years.
He's been pushing the extermination of his daughter-in-law, and I mean, my God.
How dare Casey criticize the sacred anchor, the sacred journal anchor on CNN.
Yeah.
They are untouchable. What did Voltaire say? You know who your masters are? Yeah. Those you cannot criticize.
Right.
And that's what's happening.
She stopped the interview to protect her two co-hosts who are slandering the guy they're going to be talking about as Hitler. Yeah. And by the way, the girl, Miss Levitt from the Trump campaign, says it just proves the presumptive nominee is not going to be treated fairly. Cutting off my mic, she says, bringing up a debate in moderator's history of anti-Trump lies proves our point. He's not going to be treated fairly. Trump is still willing to go the 3-on-1 fight. The two anchors and his competitor 3-1, and he said Donald Trump will win. I mean, it's going to be a 90-minute showdown, and those two people who've called Donald Trump a Nazi and say that he's been doing it his whole life, this is his plan. I mean, honestly, they deserve a punch in the face.
Is there an audience?
No, unfortunately. Or maybe, I say unfortunately, but still it would have been, it would be slanted both ways, so it'd probably just be screaming and yelling and probably be hard to understand anything. But anyway, that's what he's dealing with. These two people are the moderators, and Trump still said, I know it, I'm still going. If you think Biden would go along with two Fox commentators, okay, 331, Kipper, Pete, and Flounder right here. I got it.
It's time for your Georgia headlines presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
All right, here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Monday, June 24th. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has been called in to investigate an overnight shooting involving an officer with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office this morning. No details of the shooting have been released, except that the incident occurred at a gas station off Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Two men in their 20s were gunned down in the driveway of one of the victims' homes last night. Police say the gunman drove to the location, jumped out of the car, shot the men, and then took off. Police are looking for a white sedan that may have been heading to Mableton. Investigators believe the shooting occurred due to an ongoing dispute, but have not released any names. And in sports, the Braves will now head to St. Louis tonight to take on the Cardinals in a 7:45 matchup. You can catch all the action on our sister station, 680 The Fan.
For more on Georgia politics and the latest breaking news, follow Extra 106.3 on social media or download the Extra 106.3 app.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations on The Janelle King Show, where we tackle the topics that you won't hear at your family gatherings, but they're absolutely crucial for a strong republic. Don't miss us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on Extra 106.3. But if you can't tune in, that's okay. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Join us for these discussions, and I can't wait to meet you there.
This year, treat yourself to an explosive 4th of July with Great Grizzly Fireworks. Come shop their incredible selection of the biggest and best fireworks at a Great Grizzly store in Forest Park, Cartersville, Noonan, or Grayson. And do it soon, because this year, Great Grizzly is giving you a chance to win a $5,000 fireworks prize pack. Sign up today and register to win at fireworks365.com/fan.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older to enter. Winner will be selected on Friday, July 5th, 2024, and will be responsible for picking up their prize.
Yellow Jacket fans, your Georgia Tech football team prepares to tackle the competition this fall in historic Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field.
5 seconds to go. He will toss it into the end zone at the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown Jackets. Touchdown Jackets. I see it, and I still don't believe it.
Support second-year head coach Brent Key and the Jackets on game day by visiting RamblinRack.com to get your single game and season tickets today. Sting 'em.
Well, Stephen, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we can't offer you the position.
Why?
Well, we ran your background check, and there were several red flags.
Like what?
You were arrested 7 times for reckless driving.
So
you're applying for the school's bus driver position.
If you're in charge of hiring for your company, you know how helpful a background screening can be. That's why companies that use Horizon Background Screening make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at Horizon Screening.
on C.
Let's see. Mine, would it say here somewhere? Where does it say?
On the end of it here, right here on the end. It should.
Okay,
yours is probably a C too if you're with the Marine one.
A C, it is a C. A key of C. Yep. Yep. I'll be damned. Anyway, so that's our little Bob Dylan
There's
thing.
a big movie coming out about him. What's the kid's name? Timothy Chalamet or something like that?
Yes, Chalamet, not Oliphant. Yeah.
But they're supposed to be doing like a biop on him or whatnot.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Not a documentary, but an actual movie to go to the movies.
Yep.
Outstanding. Birthday list includes, you remember this name? Sherry Stringfield. Sherry Stringfield was a husky-voiced, kind of blonde, strawberry blonde type chick on ER. The TV series ER years ago. Sherry Stringfield, she was kind of hot, and she was in kind of a sexy role, and then she disappeared to become a big TV or a movie star, and like that red-haired guy who was on NYPD, or when I thought he'd be a big movie star, and she kind of disappeared. But Sherry Stringfield is 57 years old today, and on this day, here we go. This day in history, and I'm going to have an update on this topic later on today. 1947, search and rescue pilot Kenneth Arnold of Boise, Idaho, said he spotted 9 UFOs over Mount Rainier, Washington. 1947. He described their flight pattern as similar to a saucer skipping across the water. So newspaper reporters on this day in 1947 used the words flying saucers for the first time. In print, 1947. What a cool background for the flying saucers. Anyway, 338, cover Pete and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230. What's the matter?
I was doing the Jetsons.
I sound like one of the horses up there when he gets his calling for carrots. Also, now for the record, and of course now it's a little late. It's only been 7 years. But after the Charlottesville, Virginia debacle, finally Snopes is debunking the theory that Donald Trump said they're Nazis. They got some very fine people in their group. He never said any such thing. He was talking about the people on both sides of tearing down statues issue, that there are good people on both sides of the issue of tearing down statues, but no one should ever do it, and he said he never said anything about the Nazis. Well, now Snopes has said, you're right, that was a lie. He never said it. It was a false claim, and of course they used it all, ever since that day. It was one of the 2 or 3 things that Donald Trump said that he couldn't get over. And his press secretary said the Snopes fact check shows Biden, the other corrupt Democrats promote a lie and a hoax perpetrated by the corrupt Democrats and their mouthpieces in the fake news media, just like the Hunter Biden laptop, Russian collusion scandal, so many others, to smear the president. And she is demanding the Biden campaign stop any advertising using that lie because, once again, it's proven to be a lie. He wasn't talking about neo-Nazis or white supremacists. They should be condemned totally. And even Snopes, which is a left-thinking group anyway, a website.
Well, also that same person on CNN, was it Casey Hunt?
Yeah.
She was one of the people who went on there and said, well, he said there were good people on both sides.
Right, exactly. Again, Donald Trump, one or 2 or 3 things that he said that he couldn't get out of. He just, because the guy's not a professional speaker. He's actually a pretty bad ad-libber. Frankly, and he, anyway. So I mean, he got in trouble for that, and of course, this is pretty funny. President Stupid Face, don't forget, earlier this year got slammed for his own Charlottesville moment when protests were spreading all over college campuses, and President Washer daughter said, "Well, I condemn the anti-Semitic protests. That's why I've set up a program to deal with it. But I also condemn those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians." Boy, that sounds a lot like good people on both sides to me. And yet the press didn't do squat. God. I mean, seriously, good people on both sides of the October 7th assault, the slaughter of innocent Jews and their families and their babies. Good God. I mean, and of course, he got away with it. Yeah, he didn't for like a day. Fox News covered it, and then everything else fine. The 341... coming up, you're going to hear Jerry Seinfeld taking on some hecklers. It's a pretty funny thing here. Also, how could 6-year-old twins think that they're not really a boy or a girl, or they may not be either one? 6. 6 years old. We'll get to that fight here in a second. First of all, this illegal immigrant murder story, this thing just makes me sick. In Houston, one of the two suspects, illegal invader alien, one of the two charged with murdering the 12-year-old girl Jocelyn Nungare in Houston, had his bail set this morning at $10 million. Two guys, Jose Pena Ramos and Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, 21 years old, charged with capital murder. And the court says it's a high-profile case, and we're going to be checking out as soon as the results are back from the autopsy. If they support a death penalty eligible type kind of capital murder, then we'll come back and ask for no bond other than the $10 million, because this may be a capital murder. How could this not be a capital murder case? A couple of the facts are, and again, excuse me for even mentioning this thing, these two scumbags, by the way, from Venezuela, entered the United States illegally, and then they were released. Even the customs people say, oh, yeah, they were illegally entering the U.S. without inspection, no parole, no inspection, no admission. We don't know where they came from, and they were free to go. And then in this case, these guys lured the 12-year-old girl under a bridge where he and his co-defendant remained with her for over 2 hours, took her pants off, tied her hands behind her back, raped her, sodomized her, killed her, and threw her in a bayou. 12-year-old girl. How could this not be a death penalty case? And by the way, do you think they get the same rights as an American citizen? I mean, this is just appalling. And by the way, if this doesn't come up, if this isn't like one of the, what would you think would be the top 3 things that Donald Trump is going to be highlighting on the debate Thursday? If it isn't immigration and crime, my God, that's got to be number one. And that's got to be the thing that he can't account for. He's going to try to blame Republicans for not passing a border bill. So all Trump has to do, obviously, is say, hey, we had a border done and you changed it. You're the one who started it, and and now you're blaming us. You're the one who broke it in the first place. How come you stopped building the wall? Anyway,
he can say the wall was fixed, the gas prices were fixed, everything was going swell until you showed up, buddy.
Energy independent. Remember that we were energy independent, and Trump should compare gas prices. Donald Trump $242, Biden $417. I mean, whatever, $198 and $410. I mean,
drug prices. The drug prices. Insulin was low until you changed it, buddy. Yeah. You did that.
And by the way, on his commercial, he says, look at some of the accomplishments like lowering drug prices for America. They're actually bragging about they lowered drug prices in America when they cost
after they raised them.
After they raised them, yeah. It's like they cancel all the jobs, and then when part-time jobs come back, they say, oh, we got all these jobs coming back. Because of us, we got all these jobs coming back. Oh, yeah, I'm so much better off now under this guy than I was, 10 years ago.
It's like when you grab somebody when you're young, you're hitting them with their own hand. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Mom, he said... Oh, my God. It's 3:45. Jerry Seinfeld's kind of making some fun news here because he's getting heckled and he loves it. He's actually doing pretty well with it. And you'd think that they'd be a little nervous. Oh, also, I was watching the end of the golf tournament, and, of course, the smoke bomb attack, and I'm thinking, oh, God, what's the cause now? Anyway, we'll get to it. All that's coming up. Peach Tweets, Flounders Funnies, Holy Crap at Sports. We have a quiz and a million things in your calls. 404-741-1230 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And Lucas in the back there.
XTRA 106.3 is proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta, with legends like the Talkmaster Neil Bortz, who joins the Morning Extra live in studio this Tuesday.
I haven't been live in a radio studio for many years. It's Neil Bortz, friends, and I will be live in the studio on Tuesday.
When Neil's in town and live in the studio, strap in because things are going to get wild this Tuesday.
So if you don't have the XTRA 106.3 app yet, take the time to grab it so you can listen to us streaming live.
Neil Bortz, live from the Battery in studio with Tug, Rhino, and Los. Only live on XTRA 106.3 and streaming across Georgia on the XTRA app.
Looking for bold discussions on vital issues? Tune in to The Janelle King Show every Saturday at 3 p.m. with an encore episode every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3, where we dive into kitchen table topics that are essential for a strong republic. Don't miss an episode, but if you do, it's all good because we have new podcasts that drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss out on these thought-provoking conversations.
When you're leaving the house, do you plead with your garage door? Please open, please open. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Let us take that anxiety away with one quick call. Our highly trained technicians will get to the bottom of your garage door issues. It could be a simple repair, a malfunctioning opener, or maybe just needs a tune-up. But if it's time for your garage door to be replaced, we'll make that easy too with upfront pricing and free estimates. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, Seasons Garages.
Have you considered securing your family's future, protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease? Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit at nelsoneldercarelaw.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the Podcast Park. See you around, Atlanta.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I was thinking of Las Vegas in his years when he became a blimp. Oh, man. But again, it's freaking Elvis, man. The crypt in 2012, on this day, the crypt in which Elvis was first buried was withdrawn from a Los Angeles auction. After protests, it should be kept as a shrine. 10,000 fans signed a petition against the sale of the tomb at Forest Hill Cemetery in Memphis. Julian's auction said it would not sell the crypt until the cemetery finds a plan that best suits the interests of the fans while respecting and preserving The memory of Elvis. I don't know whether they ever sold it or not. It doesn't say. Our birthday list includes, you may not know the name. You probably, if you watch Game of Thrones, you know the guy. Ian Glenn is 63. Ian Glenn played Bruce Wayne on Titans, but you know him better as Sir Jorah Mormont on Game of Thrones. He was the very distinguished-looking guy dedicated to the Queen of Dragons. He was her personal guard and loved her to pieces. I thought he was a great-looking guy. I mean, just a really distinguished actor. And I don't know why I don't remember seeing him anywhere else.
He was in the first Angelina Jolie, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. He was the bad guy, I believe in that.
Okay, maybe.
And he had his own detective show for a year or two on Irish TV that was pretty good.
Oh, really? Irish TV.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You got some news breaking here or something? What's going on?
Well, as someone pointed out, you have a talent, Kimmer, of your stories that you tell.
Well, there's not really a talent. It's more of an innate hideousness.
It's kind of a trademark you have, storytelling abilities.
Stories.
And one of our listeners wanted to point out that the normal person tells a story. They start the story, then there's a straight line to the end of the story.
Well, a lot of people do it that way, sure.
Here's how the Kimmer tells the story, according to this person. The pre-story prologue for context. All right? Start of the story. Too many details. Semi-related side story. Wait, okay, back to the main story. Something I just now remembered. I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Realize I've been talking too long, so I wrap up the story and finally get to the point, end of story, and then apologize.
Well, at least I apologize at the end. I know it's been a long journey. In fact, I forgot to tell you that, in fact, we played Bob Dylan, and like an idiot, this is how distracted I get. On my phone, I got a message over the weekend. In fact, it was from Friday night after the last week's Dylan concert with what's his name couldn't make it. The old guy, Willie Nelson couldn't make it. Anyway, and so I got a notice, and it's a notice about that concert. And when Bob Dylan was the song we came out with a break and a half ago or whatever it was, I had on my phone, and I forgot to mention it. I have now a review that was sent on my Facebook page by Ross Veal, and he said the Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Robert Plant, Alison Krauss Outlaw Fest was off the charts in Alpharetta. Celeste Henderson opened with a big soulful voice, shredding a Gibson SG. I don't know, is that a guitar?
That's a great guitar, yeah, it is.
Shredding a Gibson SG. Plant and Krauss were superb. Dylan and band were in top form and delivered the most unpredictable set list I've ever seen him do. A special night, even if it ended here, but it didn't. Willie was ill, couldn't perform, so son Lucas fronted an incredible set, playing a replica of Dad's Trigger and utilizing every ounce of his DNA to more than faithfully pinch hit for Dad. But there's more. Lucas announces special guests, Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks. At this point in the concert, everything goes to the next level that leads to a climactic packed house sing-along of Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Wow. Just a perfect, unpredictable night of legendary music.
Did you hear any of it?
Wow. I could not hear any of it. Sometimes I can hear it pretty well. I can never hear it really well. I can't sing along to the song. Sometimes I can hear it because I'm only 500 yards away, fairly. But
you're walking distance.
Yeah. In fact, I've offered when I heard the Rhino was over there at a concert a couple months ago, and I've told those guys if they want to park in my driveway and walk over, they're welcome to do that. So anyway, but that sounds like a hell of a concert. and again, it started at 5:30, and I took the night went to the stable instead, so I didn't have any problems. But that sounds like just a great time. And a shame Willie Nelson couldn't be there, but it sounds like everybody was pretty happy about it. 3:55. Let's do a Flounders Funny. We're going to start doing, if you didn't hear or see on TV, oh my God, AOC and that idiot guy, Bowman, who went through the fire door, screaming and yelling about support for the Democrat Party. Oh my God. First, a little Nucky's Hoagie's got a little something here for Flounder.
Yes, sir. This isn't a stand-up. It's just a funny bit I saw, and I got Pete's approval. So here we go.
Excellent. Here we go.
Who's that on your computer?
Oh, Rosa Parks. Hey, did you know they're going to build a statue of her and put it in the U.S. Capitol building?
Oh, that's great. She deserves it. Hey, did I ever tell you my grandfather worked with her to start the civil rights movement?
Really?
Yeah, he was the guy who was like, get up, move it, lady, get to the back. Never would have happened without him.
She says, screw you. She says, blank you. Another happily married couple, I'm guessing.
Looks like it.
Oh, mercy. 356. If you didn't see this over the weekend, the idiot so-called squad members, Ocasio Bangio Stupidio and Jamal Bowman, the guy who went through the fire door and then complained everybody's attacking him, they went on at a rally. And they were screaming, this guy Bowman, and they were all good. They were screaming and yelling. As AOC first, Flounder, let's do AOC first.
Yeah, it's a little tough to hear, but you can still hear what she's saying.
Where? Anyway, here you can't. I mean, that was the point. I mean, just screaming and shrieking. And she says, we've got to bring our country back.
Well, no, she says, you want to take our country back. And technically, 4 years ago, the Democratic Party took it over. So what are you bitching about?
Take it back from what you've done to it the last 4 years. She didn't realize how stupid that is. Say, we need to bring our country back to what it used to be when Trump was in office, you mean? It's just unbelievable. And then this guy, Jamal Bowman, in fact, a Democrat named Richie Torres from New York, slammed this Bowman tirade, unbecoming a member of Congress, filled with profanity, and he was just like he was unhinged. See if you can check this guy out.
We live in a show, impact, go power, I'm your motherfucking People ask me why I got a foul mouth. What am I supposed to do? You coming after me. You coming after my family. You coming after my children. I'm not supposed to fight back. I'm not supposed to fight back. We're gonna show them who the
Go! What a scumbag. Children were there, families were there, and he's using MF and every other word as the F-bomb?
Well, if you actually look at the crowd, it's not even half. There's maybe a couple hundred people there.
Yeah, but even, I mean, just...
Stay classy.
Good Lord. We're going to show them who we are. Yeah, you did. You just showed us who you are.
You've already shown us who you are.
Pulled the fire
With
alarm.
the riots. You burned half the country.
That's right. Oh, Lordy. Ceasefire now. They're yelling by Hamas. I mean, man. I mean, it's really just... I've never seen this before. Have you ever seen a congressman act like that, ever? I mean, these people in public, ever? Really? Seriously? Even during
Lost all decor. And they're the side that talks and preaches decorum.
Yeah. Ever say a bad word in this administration, you get fired immediately. Hey, it's coming up on 4 o'clock. I'll give her Pete and Flounder. We got a quiz. We got Flounder's Funnies. We got Holy Crap at Sports and Pete's Tweets. And coming, Jerry Seinfeld takes on a heckler. You'll hear him do it here in a second. And the parents who think their 6-year-old twins know their sexuality and it's not what we think. Oh, my God. Coming up. What's going on in here? Give her Pete and Flounder. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
Before the debate, I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. President Biden remains hunkered down as he prepares for the CNN presidential debate later this week with former President Trump. Fox's Edward Lawrence.
16 advisors are right now with the president at Camp David, trying to help him prep. Other officials and cabinet members are spanning out across the nation. In all, more than 24 events are scheduled in 15 states leading up to the debate. The message in all of them basically the same, highlighting how much money President Biden signed into law and what government programs he's spending the money on. Now, some economists say that the amount of government spending pushed inflation, something former President Trump picked up on, saying the spending amounts to the Green New Scam. And all these messages will collide on Thursday for that showdown.
That debate taking place in Atlanta. Lawyers for Trump and prosecutors back at a Florida courtroom today. They're asking a judge to dismiss the classified documents case against the former president.
Pre-trial motions continue to be argued before a federal judge in the Mar-a-Lago documents case involving former President Donald Trump. Federal prosecutors want the judge to impose a gag order on the former president, saying he's been disparaging FBI agents ever since it was learned agents raiding the president's Palm Beach home were authorized to use deadly force, which the FBI says is standard language for all search warrants. The former president is hoping the judge will disqualify Special Prosecutor Jack Smith over his appointment by the U.S. Attorney General and not Congress. The trial itself is indefinitely postponed. In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
The White House is marking 2 years since the Supreme Court overturning of Roe v. Wade. The decision leaves the issue of abortion up to individual states. Vice President Kamala Harris describing the ruling this way to a Maryland audience today.
Full-on assault, state by state, on reproductive freedom.
Now, Trump recently said he would not support a federal ban on abortion if reelected. America is listening to Fox News.
Hear that? The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
All right, who's there for heroes or their families left behind when a service member or a first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our country's homeless vets? I'll tell you who. It's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Never forget the sacrifices of our country's greatest heroes. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org, the letter T, number 2, letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
I can't believe what they're going to say about this song here coming up in a minute. Timber, Pete, and Flounder, 403. It's just not possible.
Saying all the things that I know you'll like. Make a good conversation.
Now, I've always liked Olivia Newton-John, the late Olivia Newton-John. I thought she was beautiful and sweet, and I just like everything about her. I love her music and her voice, and just I can't tell you how much I just all her stuff. However, on this day in 2012, Billboard.com named its list of the sexiest songs of all time. Her 1982 hit, Physical, is number 1. This is the sexiest song of all. This is a sexy song?
No.
What the hell are they talking about? Sexy songs are where the woman's crooning in your arms to hold me, take me, do me now.
Maybe it's during the time period, but she's talking about getting physical.
Well, maybe, but 1982.
Donna Summer's I Feel Love is a sexy song.
Well, in fact, you mentioned that. I listened to their, again, 1982, Billboard.com, Olivia Newton-John, Physical, the sexiest song of all time. Other rock songs that made the top 10. Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night. With that scraggly voice, God. And also another Rod Stewart, Do You Think I'm Sexy? That's one of the top 10 sexy songs of all time?
Of the 70s, maybe.
Now, there are a couple. Donna Summer's Hot Stuff, but not hot. Donna Summer's got Love Song, but not Hot Stuff.
Yeah, I feel
and Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. That's truly a sexy song, but again, I don't know. Again, I guess what do you mean by sexy? I mean, those aren't what I would call like sexy. You know, I mean, they're hot songs talking about things that are sexual, but that doesn't mean they're sexy. God, sexy to me? Well, I guess no, it doesn't matter.
What is sexy to you, Kimber? What's sexy to you? It's a little peek inside the brain here.
Well, no, you know what it is. It's it's not not total anything. It's just
feet.
It's like 4%, 96%. Keep your shoes on.
My shirt. So sexy. Yeah.
Take it off, Kimmer.
Oh, will you keep the video on this time? In fact, I should send you a picture. My little friend Gretchen somehow found a picture of me with my shirt off flexing. from a couple of years ago on the beach when my kids had me down to Florida and showed me going like this without my shirt on. And I should send it to you, and you wouldn't play it. Anyway, our birthday list includes Mindy Kaling, 45. She was Kelly Kapoor on The Office and the Mindy Project, and she's quite a comedian, writer, producer, and I think she's directed.
Just had a baby. She kind of kept it quiet. She had a kid.
Mindy Kaling, 45 years old. And on this day in history, the Philips War, 1675. Why they call it the Philips War, we'll get to in a second. It's actually the first Indian War. A chief named himself King Philip. In 1675, what came to a head, he had named himself King Philip to show support for the first English settlers in the Plymouth colonies. But all of a sudden, things got bad. The Indians didn't like losing all their territory. The fighting started, the land takeover. Indians started slaughtering the villagers. And then in 1675, a year later, the chief was caught and was hanged. His body was drawn and quartered, and his head posted on a stake. His family, his wife and son, were sold into slavery in Bermuda. And on this day in 1675 in America, the colonies, the first Indian War came to a close. Jeez.
Well, that book, Mayflower, I let you read years ago.
Loved that book.
Explains that whole thing that they never teach you about in history class.
I'll tell you, honestly, if I were in charge of an educational system of not quite any level, but certainly where, you can read alone in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, whatever, and have a teacher supervise it if you need to, even a chapter at a time. That book would teach you more about what America means and is and what it was like. And I mean, I couldn't, it's called Mayflower, and I can't remember that guy's name again, the writer.
Nathaniel Philbrick.
Philbrick. Mayflower by Philbrick. And it's it's a great story. It's a great story. He has the actual act. You read letters from the people on the boat. I mean, it's unbelievable, the sacrifice and the stuff. Anyway, but schools need to know this. If I can't imagine how things like that would change an individual at a certain young age about saluting the flag, feeling of what this country is, what it means. They should be putting aside that whole New York Times 1619 project about the whole country's just a bunch of white supremacists, I'll tell you. But again, just the background to see where we've come, where we started, what's going on, what it must have been like. I mean, what it must have been like. You can really get a feel for it. It's called Mayflower, not the Mayflower, Mayflower. 4 o'clock hour at 4:08, sponsored by our good friends at Atlanta Safe House, home of the Kimmer safes. You need a safe, you may not know it. Find out, unlike the Kimmer leaving his medical records, couldn't find them. Boom. Social security guard, get it all. Atlanta Safe House, pistol safes, gun safes. They have a showroom in Ackworth, and check them out on the web. Helping your family, atlantasafehouse.com. 409-404-7441-1230, 741-1230. Jerry Seinfeld's been all over the world. Lately, he's been in Melbourne, Australia. And he was doing his show, and right near the end of it, at the Rod Laver Arena on his Australian tour, a bunch of Jew haters started screaming, "You support genocide," and all this stuff. They had shirts outside saying blank Jerry Seinfeld and stuff like that. So anyway, here's Jerry Seinfeld as he was doing his concert and how he has turned it around and made a good living at it.
What's that? Oh, you're back! They're back! Listeners are back! I missed you! Oh, you're not doing well. It's so hard for you. You gotta... Yes, listen, dude, listen. Listen, let me explain something. You and I are in the same business. We're in the same business. Our business is to get people to see things the way we see them. The problem is you're in the wrong place. You hear how well I'm doing. This is what you want. You want to do well like I am. Look at the people here to hear me. Look at what happened to you.
And listen to the very end. The very end, he makes a great point.
Because context is very important for your message. For example, if I was going to do my little comedy show that I do, if I went to a Australian rules rugby game and I told this guy, I love this guy. If I said to this guy, you check out, I'm going to do my comedy act here, I would get that same reaction. I would get kicked out on my ass because that's not where I belong. Here's the other thing I think you need to go back and tell who's ever running your organization. We just gave more money to a Jew.
I mean, that's the point. In fact, it was a Sunday afternoon, and I went to the stable, hit balls, came back, and I'm getting ready to work another show, and I got the golf tournament on in the background just for kicks, and all of a sudden, the 18th green, Scotty Scheffler's about to win another tournament. It was a great match. I saw about 20 minutes of it at the end, and all of a sudden, boom, smoke bombs. Streakers, or not streakers, but the people clad in T-shirts and shorts, streaming on the 18th green at the golf tournament, throwing a red and white smoke bombs or talcum powder bombs or something. And of course, they got wrestled to the ground immediately, and the crowd's booing and stuff like that. But I think I got thinking to myself, at first, I didn't know whether it was Gay Pride Month, the last part of Gay Pride, or whatever. It was one of those stop oil business. The same thing that's been going on lately, Stonehenge and everything else, stop oil. And so, so they, they came onto the green and they got tackled and so forth. But it seems to me the way to stop this is every time that happens, the police officers should be trained to know when they take down a suspect, they can accidentally break his wrist while they're putting it behind his back. Your ankle got. Oh God, I'm so sorry that it got caught up. Every one of those people who got taken to the ground should have a broken bone. Every single one of them, a cop should have broken a wrist or some fingers or an arm or pulled a shoulder out of socket and done it, just trying to get him to the ground to keep the crowd safe because you don't know. And by the way, that could have been anthrax. That could have been anthrax. That could have been freaking poison. Absolutely. You can't fool with it. You should have shot him in the head. How about that? We thought it was poison, officer. I mean, seriously, just hurt these people.
Now, what? One of the golfers says, I was afraid for my life. Okay, where does his rights get superseded by this narcissistic child that's a man-child that's never been told no by mommy and daddy and didn't get hugged enough or got hugged too much by mommy and daddy? They have clubs in their hands. They should have beaten him down right there.
Honestly, you don't know what they were carrying. You don't know whether they were armed. You don't know what those bombs were.
Monica Seles got stabbed in the back. Damn near killed her.
That's right. They need to break bones, at least break bones, and if once in a while somebody's head get twisted so that they have a real serious neck problem, that really be a freaking heartbreaker. Do not fool with these people. Do not fool with these people. You take your chances.
Is it going to take a murder, an incident before we crack down? I mean, come on. How many times are you going to give them before they do something horrible?
Yeah. Well, we're witnessing it right now. Here we are. This is modern day America. And and I guarantee you those cops are afraid to hurt anybody. I guarantee those cops were afraid because everybody's watching, and I guarantee they were afraid to hurt somebody because they knew it was going to come back to the George Floyd case against them. And God forbid. I tell you, we got to change everything. 414, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3, 404-741-1230. Man, damn, we almost lost it there.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
This week's newsmaker is probably going to be that so-called debate on Thursday night. I really wish they'd take those two guys, put them at a table, and just let them have at it. No so-called journalists or moderators, but that's never going to happen. Somebody sent me a newsletter. I don't have any idea who wrote it. Apparently, some guy in the Hamptons. But it is good, thought-provoking reading, and I want to read an excerpt to you. Sorry I can't give credit. I'm probably not supposed to have it anyway. It's a subscription type thing. But here's a paragraph. The world is now undergoing a massive shift from far-left woke and climate politics to a much different set of policies yet to be seen. Once Trump takes office, the shift will accelerate and be even more generational. I wish I could say it will all be for the better, but until we see how the policies change and who becomes the leaders of the various key nations, forecasting policies is impossible. At least in the U.S., we know if Trump is elected, the whole woke ideology will be dead. The military will be rebuilt and led by a whole new set of leaders. Oil will be produced. Power plants will get built along with the wall. Illegals will be stopped cold. Israel will get full support, and the Ukraine war will be ended with some sort of an armistice. Europe will end the massed immigration from the Mideast and will likely rebuild NATO. What China does, and Russia and Iran, in the face of Trump and a more right-wing European Union, will be interesting to watch. I wish he'd write, and maybe he has, about what will happen if Biden becomes president. More and more people think that he won't even be the candidate when the election rolls around. Interesting times, dangerous times. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Hey homeowners, Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
So, Robert, I want to thank you for your time. I just don't think you're the right person for this position.
I don't understand. Was it something I said?
Well, we did a background check on you and found some things of concern.
If you're in charge of hiring for your company, you know how helpful a background screening can be. That's why companies that use Horizon background screening make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com. horizonscreening.com.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2024 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead, with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. No matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Ventrac. Not everyone has a need for a tractor, but for those of you who do, you need to check out Ventrac Tractors. Ventrac is the ultimate versatile compact tractor. Property managers and golf courses know that Ventrac protects the turf better than anything else. And all of our users benefit from the ability to mow in wet conditions, conquer steep slopes, heavy brush mowing, and much, much more. Georgia, get your Ventrac at Howard Brothers. The grass, and if you need a tractor, you've got lots of it, is always greener when you take care of it with Ventrac and Howard Brothers.
Hey, it's Tug from my friends, the Frost family of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about their family's company all the time here on XTRA 106.3. First Liberty has helped hundreds of small businesses grow by saying yes when the big banks say no. On Wall Street, opportunities to earn big returns are everywhere. But for Main Street investors, those opportunities are hard to find. Until now. Our First Liberty notes are now open to qualified Main Street investors, paying interest rates of 8 to 13% while helping fuel the growth of small businesses right here in Georgia. With a few basic qualifications and with as little as $25,000, qualified Main Street investors just like you can earn an 8 to 13% interest rate. If this is you, they'd love to hear from you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and consider joining the First Liberty family today. That's FirstLibertyGA.com. FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
420. Like Timber Pete and Flounder. Oh, yeah, there we go. 420. 404-741-1230. Got a phone call. Hold on there. Be right with. Hold on. First, we got Led Zeppelin, dear Lord. 2010. Yeah, there's really good dancing music. You can hold her in your arms and, kind of sniff her hair while you're...
Yeah, it's not a love song.
Could be. Led Zeppelin, dear Lord. On this day, 2010, a huge poster featuring Led Zeppelin and the New Barbarians and some others went for sale at a Christie's auction in London, sold for $7,400. They had at the same auction a print of Led Zeppelin's backstage grouping in Tampa Stadium, sold for about $2,200. They made $10,000 off Led Zeppelin posters on this day in 2010.
Who fronted the New Barbarians?
I don't have any idea.
Keith Richards.
No kidding. Well, I would not have found it. Did you know that?
I would not have known that.
I'd known that myself. Now, Bert says an issue, but phone calls go to the top of the list. Todd, that's my little brother's name. Todd is on the radio. Cover Pete and Flounder. How you doing, Todd? What do you think, sir? What's up?
Kimmer, doing fine. Look, I was watching that tournament yesterday when those knuckleheads came out on the 18th green.
Yeah.
And my first thought was when Trump gets reelected, I'd like to see his first executive order address this problem where these people like that need to understand when they decide to do something like that they are going to put at least 20 years of their life in prison on line immediately and go straight to the local county jail and stay there.
Well, I don't know why. I'll bet there's some way that there could be some kind of a charge of eco-terrorism or a crowd endangerment, or I mean, there's got to be, a public event. I don't know. But to me, again, you have to at least break some bones. There's no way that they should just get up laughing and be gently taken over to the freaking cookie stand, have a little something to drink before they. And by the way, they were released immediately. They take away, sign their name, and let them go.
They take them to the medical tent, make sure they're okay, and then turn them loose.
Yeah, they should at least put them in jail for you, kind of lose them for a week or something in the county jail. See how they like being among the prisoners in the county jail lockup. Put them in the holding pens with like 9 other criminals for a couple of days. See how they like it.
Throw them in the drunk tank for about 30 days and see if they want to do it again.
Honest, I mean,
I've had enough.
I couldn't believe it, and I thought, of all things, and here's the other thing. This never has made sense to me. How many people who were undecided about the issue of oil and drilling for oil, how many people who maybe have been undecided after that event said, gee, you know what? I really support the people who are trying to stop oil after that. That really changed my mind for them. I now support those people. I mean, who in their right mind would think this would be positive for anybody?
After they bought gas to drive to the event so they could break into it.
And by the way, high test was, I think, went down to 451 for me the other day. And I thought, wow, boy, I guess the economy's really better now. 450 a gallon. Oh, man. Todd, you have a great day, man. I appreciate you calling. 404-741-1230. No, seriously, who in their right mind would say, boy, man, I really love that cause. They really convinced me.
They're not doing for that. They're doing it for themselves to get attention to themselves because they're spoiled brats who have never been told no.
And they got away with it. They got released and they're happy and everybody's fine. They'll be charged.
They never got their ass kicked.
That's right. That's right.
They probably don't even believe the cause.
I'm sure
what it is.
It's just they're protesters. They're professional
There's
protesters.
a movie in the 90s called PCU, and it was a college funny movie, but it was one of the funniest things about it, it had these protesters, and they called them cause heads because they changed their cause every week.
Yeah. Well, I remember back in the 80s when I was doing TV news in major cities, and I would go to protests, and it was the same group of people. I mean, there are professionals that are all linked, and it's not a surprise. It's not spontaneous.
Was at Georgia State. We joined the Young Democrats, World Wildlife Fund, Greenpeace, all to get laid. Yeah. And it was the same girls in every group.
That's right.
And it worked.
Yeah, and it did work. Of course it worked. It's like taking theater classes. You know, I mean, you go to take theater classes. Those are good. That's
No
a
comment.
film class. Those chickies are quite
I'm telling you,
amenable.
Film class was fun for a lot of reasons.
Yes, indeed.
I
I can say that myself. I mentioned the other a couple of breaks ago that on this day in 1947, a pilot noticed UFOs that looked like they were saucers skimming across a lake, and he called them, and that's when the press started calling them flying saucers. That was 50 years ago to the day. On this day, it was 1947. 50 years ago to that day, 1997, the Air Force released its famous Roswell incident report. And it claimed that those bodies that were being collected in the crash in New Mexico by the UFOs, no, those were only life-size dummies. All part of research stuff, nothing to see here. And of course, we can trust our federal leaders now because they're saying, no, that was like crash test dummies. It was really, nothing at all.
Patricia's on the line. She wants to talk about the protesters as well.
Patricia, welcome aboard, baby. How's it going? Welcome. Happy Monday to you.
And happy Monday to you. I just have a one-sentence comment, which is unusual for me. The pro golfer got worse treatment by the Louisville police than the protesters got.
My God, what a great, well, I'm not, well, let's go
to
with
the
it.
ground.
Yeah, but still, they walk free, and he's going to forever had his mugshot taken. He's now known as a guy, I hit a cop, they charge him with a felony. These people, got Patricia, you're absolutely right. That's a great analogy, or not analogy, it's a great, what do you call that when you make a point? Made a great
Metaphor
point.
or-
Yeah, something about that, whatever it was.
Thank you, Kimmer, for allowing me to make my point.
Anytime. Now let's get that top. Oh, no, I'm sorry. All right, baby. You have a great day. I think I have a new thing with Patricia here, by the way. 427. Oh, and again, the debate is coming up on Thursday. And just in, if you are a Democrat and you want to go watch the debate, they have debate watching parties. Here are some more of the locations for the Democrat debate watching parties. The Poop and Poppers of Powder Springs headquarters. That's for furries and fairies. Also, the watching contest, Pee-Pees and Wee-Wees Arama on Jimmy Carter Boulevard. They're going to have a water tank with Bobbing for Bob, which is fairly interesting. Also, Man in the Boat Overboard, Gender Adjustment Agency will have a watch party. They're going to have a sausage chopping contest. And the Cockadoodle Don't on Camp Creek Parkway is a famous diner. They're going to have a Spikes and Spanking extravaganza coming up for the
Question, what's the most important thing about this debate? Is it Biden or Trump that we should be watching?
Well, Biden. To me, I think it's Biden. And by the way, I forgot to mention.
The other thing is most people know that he's going to be given the questions. If he's still given the questions and is not able to do this debate, doesn't that answer the question right there that they got to find somebody else?
It's all Biden. Everything is on Biden. Trump can't. Trump's going to be Trump. No, even if he comes out and be as the wise old man, even if he comes out there, not just a not so, he's going to be Trump. Everything is on Biden. Everything is on what happens with Joe Biden and to Joe Biden. I mean, honestly, I can't. I'm excited. I forgot to mention this thing. What an idiot! There was a coin flip. The coin flip was to determine one of two things. Either you could pick to go first or last with a closing statement, or you could pick which podium to stand at. Now, if I'm in a debate for the presidential candidacy of my country and there's a debate and you have a chance to have a closing argument, wouldn't you want to go last? Mm-hmm. He picked podium. Joe Biden he had a choice. He won the coin flip. He had a choice of picking whether to go first or last for closing or whether to choose the podium, and he chose the podium on the right.
What is the podium? That doesn't mean anything.
I don't know.
Well,
you read left or right.
It's kind of a strength thing. It looks like it's on the right.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just seems more strong if it's on the right.
Well, because you read left to right, so you end on the right. In other words, the end of a sentence is on the right. The end of a thought is on the right. Everything goes left to right. So to the right is the ending final point. But again, I'd rather go last on closing my argument for the race. But maybe it's I don't know. Almost 4.
Maybe he won't. He doesn't think he'll still be awake by the time the last part comes
That's
around.
right. And by the way, the Babylon Bee says one of the questions that they know that's going to be asking is, Mr. Trump, why are you such a loser? Again, those are just kind of this. It doesn't seem that fair to me. I got with the Babylon Bee. 4:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and so much more. Pete's tweets, and we got a quiz, and Flounder's funnies, and it's all coming up, and that's just in the next half hour or so. So anyway, happy Monday. How's it going? Look out.
It's time for your Georgia headlines, presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
All right, here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Monday, June 24th. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has been called in to investigate an overnight shooting involving an officer with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office this morning. No details of the shooting have been released, except that the incident occurred at a gas station off Fulton Industrial Boulevard. 2 men in their 20s were gunned down in the driveway of one of the victims' homes last night. Police say the gunman drove to the location, jumped out of the car, shot the men, and then took off. Police are looking for a white sedan that may have been heading to Mableton. Investigators believe the shooting occurred due to an ongoing dispute, but have not released any names. And in sports, the Braves will now head to St. Louis tonight to take on the Cardinals in a 7:45 matchup. You can catch all the action on our sister station, 680 The Fan.
For more on Georgia politics and the latest breaking news, follow XTRA 106.3 on social media or download the XTRA 106.3 app.
All right, look out now. It's only the Kimmer 431 on 106.3 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and our buddies at Atlanta Safe House. In fact, coming up, I did not know this until recently that our buddy Jeff and Mark at Atlanta Safe House, Jeff is something of a music critic. And we'll have a little scenario from Jeff coming up very shortly. First of all, the place to get your safe. And again, I'm such an idiot. I had 2 safes from Atlanta Safe House. They can bolt them from the inside into your concrete floor, your basement or garage, whatever. Just as fun as it could be. All this stuff. And by the way, when I say gun safes, they're bigger than like a pistol safe, obviously. But again, it's not just for guns. A gun safe just means it'll hold rifles and stuff like that. But they can design it any way you want. Shelving units, little nooks and crannies, jewelry safes and high security safes and business safes and stuff. Honest to goodness, you really need to check them out at atlantasafehouse.com. They do have a showroom in Ackworth, and it's real simple to just hop up there and see exactly what they have for you right now. And I get the biggest kick out of this when you Google them and check them out on the web, atlantasafehouse.com. They can build you a family storm shelter. I'm not making that up. Great pistol safes, and these things are a great idea, by the way. Top brands. They've been doing this for decades. They only use off-duty police and firefighters and military folks to say thank you for what you folks do as well. I love them. I trust these guys. A non-woke company. They'll make sure no one gets your master reset code only for you. And if you had a problem with it, go to Atlanta Safe House and they'll fix it for you from some other company may have given you the runaround. Anyway, please tell them the Kimmer sent you. Showroom in Ackworth. And you're going to hear Jeff's musical expertise here coming up in a second with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and a word from atlantasafehouse.com.
Get ready. Diamonds Direct will forever change the way you shop for jewelry. With over 80 years experience in direct sourcing, Diamonds Direct is finally opening in Atlanta. Customers across the Southeast know Diamonds Direct for their unbeatable selection and prices, but return again and again because of their unparalleled customer experience. The experts at Diamonds Direct are your advocate in the dizzying world of diamonds, ensuring you are nothing shy of confident in your purchase. How do they do it? With the best selection, the best quality, and the best price. In fact, Diamonds Direct guarantees they won't just meet any local price, they'll beat it. So if you can dream it, Diamonds Direct can deliver it. Build your own engagement ring, tap into their custom design studio, or choose from hundreds of ready-to-wear styles. No other jeweler can maximize your budget like Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, coming soon to Buckhead and ready to amaze Atlanta with the best selection, the best quality, the best price, and the best people guaranteed.
You have enough to deal with after an accident. You don't want to spend a lot of that time messing around with insurance companies. Besides, what are you going to say to them? You really know the ins and outs? David Van Sant at Van Sant Law does. He used to work for the insurance companies. Their worst nightmare. He knows who to call, what to say, how to listen to him, and he has your best interest at heart. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
Foundation repair isn't pretty, but at Atlanta Ramjack, we make it easy. If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with the repair. Why call us? Foundation repair is all we do. We have highly trained estimators that will thoroughly evaluate your home and only recommend what is needed. If you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on XTRA 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
Look out. It's Eric Clapton and his Fender Stratocaster. Yeah, boy. They could wail. Gotta say it. It was on this day, 2004, the Fender Stratocaster, known as Blackie, sold at auction for $959,000. In New York, the most expensive guitar in the world in 2004. The proceeds went toward Eric Clapton's Crossroads Addiction Clinic, which he had founded in 1998. There's a little Layla here going on. Is that what that is? Wow. Yes, sir. The guy, that's, you got to give him credit, man. That was huge. 437. By the way, I have birthdays and histories and a thing from Jeff at Atlanta Safe House. But first, phone calls take priority. To the phones, it's Jace with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hello, Jace. Happy Monday. What's going on?
What's up?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if somebody's touched on this before, but the presidential turkeys where they pardon them.
Yeah.
I look forward to that every year. We'd make bets like which one's going to get pardoned and all that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Biden just pardons them both. So now all the fun's taken out of that. So I hope when Trump gets in there in 2025, he eats them both.
It just doesn't seem fair. We're going to have to change everything, Chase. I don't get it.
And eat them both, bud. Eat them both.
All right, man. 7-5, my friend. 437. There you are.
How can you tell the difference between the two turkeys?
I don't know.
One named Tom, the other Thomas?
I don't know. Willie and Sharon, I think. I don't know any. Oh, by the way, I mentioned before, I get the biggest kick because Jeff Mark at Atlanta Safe House. Jeff is a listener frequently. I'm not sure all the time, but anyway, and I'm looking through my phone here. The latest messages that Jeff has sent me are Michael Cera movie was called Year One. I remember months ago we were talking about Arrested Development or something in the characters. So Jeff, this is from way ago. Michael Cera movie was called Year One. I couldn't remember the name of the movie, and then he listed the characters I was trying to think of: Jason Bateman and David Cross. So those were the. Now here's today's message: Crush by Dave Matthews Band is the sexiest song. So Jeff was listening when we had that silly sexiest song list from the Billboard or whatever, and he says Crush by Dave Matthews Band. I don't know if I know that song or not, but anyway, later on maybe we'll find it.
It's a good song.
Yeah, he says Jeff says it's
Crush.
the sexiest song in the thing there.
You know it. You've heard it.
Okay. Now I remember Crush by some girl. There's some girl that's saying Crush.
There's
I can't remember.
Crush on You by Springsteen, Crush with Eyeliner by R.E.M.
No, this is some girl called Crush. Like that. Anyway, our birthday list includes, if you used to watch Knots Landing on TV, the girl played Karen, Knots Landing. Michelle Lee is 82 years old today. Michelle Lee was an actress. She was also a singer, and she was also one of those entertainers. She'd show up on What's My Line or Who Do You Trust or something or other like those things back in the day. Michelle Lee, 82 years old. And on this day in history, in 1993, a Yale computer science professor named David Gellinter opens his mail. When he got to the padded envelope, it blew up in his hands. And his death was the latest in a string of bombings dating back 15 13 years before 1993, and it started the hunt for the Unabomber. And I remember, wasn't it his brother who turned him in, as I recall?
I think so.
The Unabomber's brother said, I think that's my brother you're looking for. And that's how it happened.
Did you ever see the SNL skit where Will Ferrell played him and they let him go to his high school reunion?
No.
What you been up to?
Dressed like the Unabomber. What you been up to?
What you been up to all these years?
That's funny. Well, there's nothing funny about a Unabomber. No, of course, the thing. Anyway, again, just another couple of questions coming in now that will be on the debate Thursday, according to Babylon Bee. The question, clearly unbiased question intended to solicit honest and relatable answers. What's the most illegal thing you've ever done? And don't worry, you won't be indicted for it. Okay, no, that doesn't seem right. How many Pearl Harbors and 9/11s does it take to equal one January 6th? Now, that sounds a little biased to me. I don't know about you. And this one, I think this is really unfair. One of the creepiest answers they're going to ask on the debate Thursday. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your daughter. Oh, no, that's just wrong. So,
I cringe kid. Yeah, so do I. Daddy says I'm the best.
Brutal. 404-744.
Kimber, what movie is that from?
I'm sorry?
What movie is that from?
Well, what from?
But Daddy says I do it the best. Chevy Chase?
Oh, God, I don't
D'Angelo?
know. Oh, yeah, Vacation.
Yes.
Oh, I'd forgotten that. In fact,
let's go find your sister.
Those are all over TV all of a sudden. All the vacation movies are almost back to back on one of the channels. I'm going through my guide. Almost every day. The European Vacation and the Chevy Chase Vacation and the whole deal. That freaking car. Anyway, pretty funny. 440, almost 442 with the Kimmer Pete and Phil Launder. All right, now I got to check. I don't know if this is from Jeff again or not. From somebody else. I don't know who. I don't recognize the number, but I know it's in my. It says Crash, not Crush, and Jennifer Page sang Crush. So maybe the song is Crash by Dave Matthews.
Sorry.
Okay, so I don't need either one of those anyway. And it was Jennifer Page saying Crush.
Yeah, it's called. Well, the Dave Matthews song is called Crash Into Me.
Of course. Well, maybe it's.
He also has a song called Crush too.
Well, now see, I'm totally confused. And that Jennifer girl was the one that did.
Can you play Crash Into Me so he knows what we're talking about?
Can you find it? Have you got a minute? Or
give me 1 second, I'll find it.
Okay, and coming up, we'll talk about the 6-year-old twins whose parents say that, they're really not binary, you know.
Yeah, okay. One of them says one of them's non-binary, and the other one is gender fluid. Explain to me what the hell the difference is.
Yeah, well, again, they're 6, so they know these things. You know, when you're 6, you got a full handle on this. When you're 6 years old, you know whether you're fluid or binary. You know, I mean, come on.
But one of them doesn't know if it's a girl or a boy.
Yeah.
And the other one flips back and forth between a girl and a boy. What's the difference?
Well, it's all zygotes. You know, it's zygotes, and it's kind of,
zygotes or zygotes?
Zygotes.
You got zygotes.
I got zygotes.
Well, the funny thing is now that women are going to be in the draft, I'm sure they're going to be able to identify who a woman is now.
Well, you just got to go by the DNA, you know. I don't know what a woman is.
If she's bigger than me, she's in the Army. That's all I got to say.
Did I have any luck on finding that? There we go. Oh, I've heard this song.
No lyrics. He's just kind of.
Well, and that's the thing. It's just a strumming of the.
Got your ball, you got your chain tied to me, tie me up again.
In fact, you know what? I'll tell you one of the sexiest songs I've ever heard. I just had Flounder put on my music magic stick. I can't remember the name of the girl. The girl was at the Olympics. She and her husband are married, and we were at the Olympics next to us.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, well, okay. When we were at the Olympics, the guy and the girl and her husband, they're a married couple, and they're both singers. Tim McGraw and the girl. Who's the girl? Tim McGraw.
Faith Hill.
Faith Hill. And she didn't you put a Faith Hill song on my music magic stick just the other day?
I'm not sure.
And it was the one where she says there's something like I'll never forget the line in your arms when you told me that I could stay in your arms forever. It was something forever in your arms or forever in love or forever in your arms, something like that. And the lyrics in that song, holy cow. I mean, just the first like 10, 15, 20 seconds of it are just stunning, where she admits that when he told her, I could stay forever in your arms, and she surrendered. And that...
U2 is responsible for two of the best bitter breakup songs of all time, and they're on the same album, One and So Cruel. I mean, the lyrics to those songs, man.
I don't think I know this.
Every bad breakup you ever had, man. You wish you had those lyrics.
Oh, mercy. Well, I don't know why we're talking about song lyrics, but I thought that was kind of weird. So I'm glad it's 4:45. Hey, we may play some of those songs for you later on, just for the fun of it, for 20 seconds.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Maybe we just don't feel like it. Coming up, we'll talk about the parents of the 6-year-old twins. I don't get any of this. What's that?
We got Bill on the line. He wants to talk about presidential polling.
Presidential polling. Bill, you're on the radio. Thanks for calling. Happy Monday. What do you think?
Hey, Kimmer. Last week you were talking about some presidential polling that showed that Biden had come up on Trump and maybe even beat him in a poll or two.
It could be close to 50-50. Yes, possibly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I don't understand or that's missing is that so much of that polling is done in Los Angeles and New York City and San Francisco and Portland and Seattle. When you look at the swing states, Trump is killing it. So as a nation with all these liberals and all these populated areas that are maybe making those national polls, go toward Biden, that just got completely overlooked. If you look at Michigan, Ohio, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and all these other swing states, Trump still has like anywhere from a 3 to a 10-point lead. Nevada.
Yeah, I know. A lot of this doesn't make any sense. And again, it all depends on how good the polls are and where they go. And also, remember Hillary was going to win 92-8 a week before the last election. Trump won at 16. So, I mean, I don't put a lot of stock in most of these things. And I'm a little nervous that Biden is even close. I don't know how it's possible that in any poll that he could even be close. But again,
I think in a city like San Francisco, Trump's not going to. If 100 people are polled, 70 of them are going to say Biden, or 80 of them are going to say Biden, and 20 of them are going to say Trump. So that
changes
kind of skews the whole thing.
Yes, it does.
It's just, to me.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Anyway,
thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. 447. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And coming up, this twins story. I mean, this makes me sick thinking about these twins and what to do with their sexuality for guys. Also, the influencer turned down 5,000 guys. I bet she hasn't turned down 5,000 others. So she's making $300,000 a month. Coming up, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. What are we doing wrong? God.
Latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust. Your best new follow on social media is XTRA 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events, and so much more. Follow at XTRA 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
On this episode of The Real Houses of Atlanta.
Whoa, Bobby, what's going on?
Well, now that I'm the HOA president, I'm going to start cracking down on the neighborhood.
With a sledgehammer?
Oh, look, this place is looking rough, and nobody's moving right now either. So I'm telling the neighbors it's time to fix up the homes they have.
And what do you suggest?
Well, I'm telling everybody on the block about Exovations. They're right here, and they can get your house the facelift it needs. We're talking new siding, roofing, windows, doors, decks, even porches, patios, and porticos. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to start with Jim next door. Hey, Jimmy, you got a window out. Check the bylaws.
Hi, this is Candace with Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. Avoid an HOA headache and let us give your home the facelift it needs. We'll introduce you to our ExoVision, our very own architectural design that allows you to envision your home's transformation before you even start the project. Ready for your on-time, on-budget, and stress-free renovation? Visit exovations.com and book your consultation today.
Shooting drills. A coach who knows the game can teach their team how to improve, but one who genuinely cares about each player,
you have what it takes. We got this.
Can inspire them to win. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Because when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Start feeling unstoppable. Visit truist.com/care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Get ready for Real Talk on the Janelle King Show, where we tackle kitchen table topics that are banned from family gatherings, but crucial for a strong republic. Tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday for an encore episode at 9 a.m. And if you can catch us live, great. But if not, no worries. New podcasts drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park right here on XTRA 106.3 or wherever you get your podcasts. Join us for insightful conversations that matter.
Stop dreaming. Start driving. Get the gift that keeps on giving with the RBM of Atlanta's Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event. Each of our certified pre-owned vehicles undergoes an exhaustive process of analysis, inspection, and reconditioning until it meets the uncompromising standards of RBM of Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz. For a limited time, get special financing from as low as 2.99% APR. In addition, you'll receive unlimited confidence with Mercedes-Benz's unlimited mileage warranty, delivering continued assurance for up to 7 years. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Not all offers apply to all vehicles, and special financing available to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Services through July 1st, 2024. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call 770-390-0700 for details.
That's amazing. Looking at Fox News, showing the story of the mob scene and the riots in Los Angeles where the Jew-hating Democrats blocked a synagogue and it led to violence and beatings and stuff. God, that's just, but there are good people on both sides, according to President Wash your daughter. You Democrats have to start realizing what those poor Palestinians have gone through. Remember. My God. 452. Frank Zappa here. Frank Zappa took part in a concert at Adieu Soviet Army, organized in Prague in 1991. And this day is a farewell to the last soldiers of the Soviet Red Army leaving free Czechoslovakia. They had occupied it since the Prague Spring. Probably Frank Zappa's last rock appearance on the stage, recorded on the album Adieu CA, Soviet Army in 1991. Frank Zappa and Dweezil and Moon Unit, and was there a third one? Moon Unit and Dweezil. Birthday list includes George Sanford Brown. You might remember him from the show The Rookies, and he became something of a producer and director and a Hollywood guy. George Sanford Brown is 81 years old today. And on this day in history, 1968, Resurrection City is demolished. A few days before, in 68, Martin Luther King Jr. led a Poor People's March. Tens of thousands of protesters at the mall in Washington. Thousands set up a makeshift city from cardboard boxes and blankets and anything else they could do to build a shanty town. It was torn down on this day, and they all went home after the Poor People's March. 454, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230 is the number if you want to join us for your happy Monday. Hello, but first, Flounder's Funnies for Nuckies Hoagies. What's up?
She's dating this kid in a punk rock band. He's 32 also, and he lives with his parents. And I said to him the other day, I said, how long do you think you should live with your parents? He said, till at least we're 50 or 60. I said, no, really? That's what he said. I said, why do you say that? He said, Mr. Dreesen, we didn't ask to be here. I said, I don't want to give you a biology lesson, but when the male and the female make love, from the male comes 5 million seeds. Did you know that? 2.5 million seeds die instantly, and the other thousands die along the way, and pretty soon there's only 100,000 seeds left, and there's 100 seeds left, and pretty soon there's only 5 seeds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, you. Don't ever tell me you didn't ask to be here. Bullshit. You fought to be here. I'm in a room full of winners. Applaud yourselves. You all won. 5 million.
You know, it is Tom Dreesen. It really wasn't he part of the Sinatra Rat Pack back in the days, long
He
Vegas
was Sinatra's
guy.
opening act. Yeah.
Vegas guys and all that thing. That had to be fun. Tom Dreesen. And again, think about the miracle of the literally millions of little Wigglies, and one is picked.
And that's you.
And speaking of that, this whole thing makes me sick. Headline: Parents slam charter school for outing their non-binary 6-year-old twins. And the guys, the star of the story here is a, quote, transgender and non-binary Mortellus, 42, who did not want to reveal their full identity. So this is, I guess, a guy, but they have to call him they. And they're in Forest City, California, went to the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy with their kids, their children. He says during the visit, he asked if there were any gender-neutral bathrooms because one of my 6-year-old twins is non-binary and the other is gender fluid. They were assured the school is in the process of adding an ADA-compliant family bathroom. There are single-stalled restrooms in each classroom. They found out the children's gender identity had leaked to parents, and many people started complaining about it. The guy says, when I saw this all on social media, I felt my stomach bottomed out. I felt nauseous. I felt sad. What the right reaction was settled on anger. They put my children in danger. The school had done nothing to make us aware. Here, he describes himself, himself, as an author who describes themselves on Instagram as a witch, necromancer. I guess it may having sex with dead people. A necromancer.
No, necromancer is... It's a dark wizard or something.
Okay,
like
well, a necromancer, like a romancer of necro things. Necromancer, mortician, and medium, and said they thought the school was accommodating when they first went there. I noted my children, regardless of assigned gender, enjoyed wearing skirts and dresses frequently. I was informed the uniform policy was non-gendered, would not be an issue. People started circulating a petition calling for the school to stop doing this nonsense about gender neutral everything else and having teachers and students use preferred pronouns. They got 1,300 signatures, had to be taken down. Became so heated, the school officials held a meeting for parents to talk about it. Some said the family's living in a world of imagination. They don't understand the concept of sex until their age of 8 or 9. These kids are 6. Another said, wait a minute, if we can't push religion, they should not be able to push an agenda. And when I said, I'll take my kids out of the school. This guy Mortellus went on to respond to some of the gender-specific claims made about their family, including the kids are too young to understand gender. And now, see if you can understand any of this. In terms of simple child development, he says, we know that children have a pretty strong sense of gender identity as early as 3. Says he. Society doesn't really make a fuss about heteronormative barriers being understood by children because that fits within the hegemony, and when it is an outsider group like my pagan family with a different set of morality, ethics, the world generally suddenly that understanding is villainized. I can't read it. I mean, this guy's raising children.
And mentally ill children that they're causing.
Our faith protects the right to express oneself as we see fit, not imposed upon us by someone else's God. One kid wants to be an astronaut, the other's a math whiz, literally doing algebra at age 5.
Okay, it's not God, it's biology. It's biology. I mean, what are the odds of both their kids being these two things? And not just the same thing, but two different things on this small spectrum.
They don't know what that is. They don't even know what that means. How can a 6-year-old... I mean, please. I mean, I'm trying to think...
It's like saying your dog's a vegetarian. We know who's making the decisions here.
Yeah, you're feeding him vegetables.
It ain't the dog. It ain't the kids making that decision.
I mean, this is so sick.
And I wouldn't want my kids around that, to have these kids influencing them in any way, shape, or form, or thinking that may be cool or that may be something new to try. No.
He brags about being a witch, a necromancer, a mortician, and a medium.
necromancy is not good. That's like calling up demons.
That's Dark
and stuff.
City,
that's
man.
Not good.
That's witchcraft stuff. Coming up on 5 o'clock, Holy Crap at Sports. We got ourselves a quiz and Pete's tweets and holy, it's all the good stuff with the Giver, Pete and Flounder. Look out, 5 o'clock. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Branch Jewelry and Watches.
Ready for a hot night in Atlanta. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. President Biden preparing for this week's CNN presidential debate, and Fox's Aisha Hasni is at the White House with a preview.
Biden's team knows that the 81-year-old has to perform well for 90 minutes straight, and so he will continue to prep and stay there and probably not be seen until he heads down to Atlanta. In contrast, former President Trump is on the campaign trail, holding rallies, meeting with supporters in between all of his debate prep. Last week, Trump called Biden a worthy debater, but thinks that all of this prepping that he's doing right now at Camp David is just going to wash away on that debate stage.
And this is a crucial debate for both the president and former president as they try to bring up their support heading into November's election. Lawyers for former President Trump back in a Florida courtroom today arguing a motion to dismiss charges in the classified documents case against him. We have Fox's Jeff Paul there in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Trump's defense team is trying to get the case thrown out due to the fact that they believe that Special Counsel Jack Smith was appointed in an unconstitutional way. But later in the afternoon, it will be federal prosecutors who get to address an issue in court. They have filed a motion pushing for a limited gag order on Trump after the former president made comments that FBI agents were out to kill him and his family during their search of Mar-a-Lago back in 2022. Trump had said in a fundraising email that the FBI was, quote, locked and loaded, ready to take me out and put my family in danger. Smith's legal team says that statement is not only false, but endangers the lives of law enforcement.
Well, that special counsel, Jack Smith, is in the courtroom for today's hearing. The former president's defense team is pushing the idea that the funding for Smith comes from the government. They're bringing into question why he has an unlimited budget to prosecute. Trump's facing charges of illegally taking thousands of classified government documents from the White House, including even sensitive nuclear secrets. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land, where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, so customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
You know, since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of blank. Ready on your dog, target. Hair, help, hair, Delio, hair, road guards out. Hair, help, hair, Delio, clear, look out. It's only me. It's only the Kipper with Pete Davis and Flounder on 106.3. Nice to have you with us. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Let her rip Monday, absolutely. Almost 5:04, and we got a whole bunch of political stuff and goofy stuff and Pete's tweets and Flounder's funnies and a quiz, and you're going to hear some weirdo sound bites and get to the debate topics and stuff. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's only Monday and the debate's not till Thursday, but that's all I can think about. I mean, I'm really starting to, I think this is really going to be real interesting. And I wonder after the first debate whether there will be a second one. I wonder. I wonder whether. I mean, it's just. I don't know. I'm really excited thinking about this thing. And Donald Trump apparently has picked his running mate, and he said, first of all, asked about the running mate, the president said nobody knows. He hasn't told anybody. In his mind, he's made up his mind, but nobody knows. He added the person he's picked. First, he said, will most likely attend Thursday's first debate. And then he said, they'll be there. They'll be there. I think we have a lot of people coming. And so we'll see. And I'll bet you, I think the problem with J.D. Vance, I think he's the most qualified. I think he's the guy that I would look to as the up-and-comer, and he's young enough, but he's smart and quick, and I mean, he's just a very impressive guy. But he's also a United States senator. We don't want to lose a senator. So Ohio would have to pick another senator to replace him, and if we got a liberal in there, I mean, it would be hell to pay. Because we're already screwed up in the Senate anyway.
If he picks Burgum, the thing is, well, there's two old white guys.
Yeah, Burgum can't. Burgum's not a president. I don't look at him as I look at him as a successful billionaire who did the right thing as a governor and stuff like that, but he's not presidential material to me.
You see those movies about a president, and you don't really know who he is. It's kind of nebulous. That's what Burgum reminds me of. Is the guy who looks like a president.
He's the kind of guy, the behind the scene, like in, I can't remember the ones where the something where they came back from the Korean War and they were brainwashed.
Manchurian Candidate
and stuff, and the 6 days in October or whatever it was, where the president's that was a Kennedy thing. That's a bad example, but there are others. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there you go. So anyway,
6 days in October, 7 days in May. You were so close.
Well, I was busy. I was busy at the time. I was learning oceanography with Claude Justeau, so it was kind of a special thing.
The inventor of the Jewfish.
That's right. 506 with a repeated flounder. And President Stupidface, he left Washington last Thursday, and he hasn't been back. And he's not going to go back until after the debate. He's spending 8 days preparing for the debate and not being in the White House.
That's
8 days. I mean, that's and again, can you imagine? How'd you like to be? Who do you suppose is in charge?
He's not running the country, so he doesn't even need to be there.
But again,
I see your point. If Donald Trump wasn't in the White House for
they go nuts. I mean,
someone told Biden there's 8 days in a week. So,
but again, how'd you like to be the guy to prep Biden for this debate? Do you go? I mean, do you nail him? Do you go? Do you do it with the Trump? I mean, wouldn't you love to be in that room to see how he reacts and what he says? And Jill, what about Dr. Jill? I bet you, Jill, the cuckold queen, is there going? No, you can't ask him that. Oh man.
I picture Hitler's doctor with the black bag coming in with all kinds of injections.
Yeah, he's got a whole blanket of tools on the counter. He opens up all these surgical tools as a general principle. They got IVs ready. I mean, they're going to pump him. I mean, how are they possibly going to be able to make sure that he can remember things which will come up in the debate? Unless it's going to be completely milquetoast, where he's going to do nothing but sound bites and comments on how well the nation is doing, and getting away from the dicks and stuff. Without coming up with specific information, he doesn't have the memory. He can't pull it off.
More than that, they're bracing him to stand up for 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It might be an issue if he looks frozen or he gets kind of caught in the lights and the heat and stuff like that. And also, I'm hoping Donald Trump will do something kind of not sneaky, but again, to point out for the fact, if Trump's in the middle of a sentence or something, and he's saying, and your policies have shown when you open up the border and so forth, and we're not even sure you're aware of your policies. Hell, you probably can't even mention can't remember the members of your own cabinet. But as we go along to the so-and-so, and just throw out something, and then don't dwell on it, just throw it out. And see if he has to accept the challenge, and if he doesn't, I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't it be funny if he just got caught on something silly like that and changed everything?
We're lowering the bar too much. We really are. We're helping Biden by doing this.
Well,
we really should think he's going to be competent like he was in the past at other debates, and he'll come out smelling like a rose and hope he falls on his face.
Yeah. It could. This is pretty cool. I'm very excited about the whole damn thing. We're going to talk about that CNN thing here in just a second. First, again, there are some. The Democrats are holding their watch parties at various places around the Atlanta area.
Who's on the horn?
I'm sorry. Oh, you got your mic on. Flounder's getting a phone call, but he's got his mic on.
Oh, no, someone just called, but they wanted to let you know that they think there's going to be a body double for Biden.
Oh my! Hey,
a brain double.
Well, oh my God, AI baby. Oh my God! I bet they have an AI computer, and they're going to move his mouth with like an AI computer generated neck muscle machine or something, and have an AI guy talk for him. Oh my God, how cool would that be? Or wouldn't it be he comes out and say, "Oh, this is my translator, Raphael. Would you answer that question, please?" The Democrats are going to have their watch parties at various places. For example, the Democrats are going to go watch the debate at the Tit for Tat, and I'll take that, a no schlong for long medical refinement center that's coming up. That's off of Buford Highway. The Oops-a-Daisy Chain Lounge, where every customer gets a surprise. That's in Doraville. They have a watch party for them. And the Tinkle with a Winkle, the bathhouse with something extra in Buford. Thursdays, it's a distance and accuracy contest. So, again, these are just Democrat watching areas.
There's a great line in a prison show that lasted like 3 shows back in the 70s. And the guy, he's going in the prison infirmary, and the doctor's on the other side of the room. He goes, "I want you to fill this cup." And the guy looks and goes, "From here?"
With what? That's a big question. Almost 5:11. Flounder, we got time for this CNN. This was this morning. CNN's host, Casey Hunt, was interviewing a Trump spokesman, Carolyn Levitt, on the air this morning on CNN. And Carolyn Levitt tried to answer the issue of the two hosts for the debate, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, who have called Donald Trump a Nazi. And when the Trump spokesman, Carolyn Levitt, tried to get into it, CNN kicked her off the air. Here's how that sounded this morning.
So it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at next later this week in Atlanta for this.
Anchor woman Casey Hormouth has actually had the balls to pretend that it isn't important to talk about the two hosts for the debate have called Donald Trump a Nazi. In fact, Flounder, let's do it. Here they are, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, talking about Donald Trump in the past, and they're going to be hosting the freaking debate on Thursday night.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. This time given life by former president and current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump.
Let's recognize this comment for what it is, a long-standing anti-Semitic trope that the true allegiance for Jews is to their religion rather than their country. It was used in Nazi Germany to justify the arrests, persecutions, and mass killings, attempted extermination of the Jewish people. And Trump has been pushing this trope for years.
Yeah, I mean, what? And again, you don't think that's an issue with the debate that they have two people who have said Donald Trump's a freaking Nazi? And by the way, that's a bunch of crap. And they're calling you and me Nazis for supporting the Republican candidate.
Yeah. Whereas we support Israel and Jewish people, and CNN is pro-Hamas, and has shown it time and time again.
And the people who are doing the Jew hating are all Democrats. Not one of them is a Donald Trump supporter. Every single one of those haters is a Democrat. And how come you Jewish voters still vote for him? This is what you get. Look at the TV. Anyway, 5:13. Holy crap, sports coming up. Give Pete and Flounder right here. Stand by.
XTRA 106.3 is proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta, with legends like the Talkmaster Neil Bortz, who joins the Morning Extra live in studio this Tuesday.
I haven't been live in a radio studio for many years. It's Neil Bort's friends, and I will be live in the studio on Tuesday.
When Neil's in town and live in the studio, strap in because things are going to get wild this Tuesday.
So if you don't have the XTRA 106.3 app yet, take the time to grab it so you can listen to us streaming live.
Neil Bort's live from the Battery in studio with Tug, Rhino, and Los. Only live on XTRA 106.3 and streaming across Georgia on the XTRA app.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the grand slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts, Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
True Prep on Cobb Parkway is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. They are locally owned and operated. You can visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they are not going to go away. They need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with repair. Ramjack is the best company in the industry for repairing your foundation. We have the highest quality products in the nation. So, if you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881. That's 770-502-8881.
Are you concerned about securing your family's future and assets? Look no further than Nelson Elder Care Law. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we offer absolute assurance and peace of mind through our comprehensive asset protection services. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to explore how we can safeguard your legacy and provide tailored solutions for your family's well-being.
Look out, our 5 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at Lee Brandt Jewelers, where luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com. Hey, it's 5:18. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Something had to give before yesterday's game in New York City. Max Fried was starting his first game ever in Yankee Stadium and came into the game with the best road ERA in baseball at 2.48. But Yankee starter Nestor Cortes started his first game ever against the Braves and had the best home ERA in baseball at 2.39. Advantage, Fried. As the Braves take 2 out of 3 in the Bronx from the Yankees, 3-1 the score yesterday, as once again, Jared Kelenic, the hero, along with Max Fried. Jared had 2 ribbies, including his 3rd inning shot.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Kelenic hits a high fly ball to deep right field. Juan Soto going back. He's starting to run out of room. That's out of the ballpark. Jared Kelenic with another home run.
Ben Ingram on 680, the Fan. Ozzie Albies also drove in a run. Fried, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts, lowered his ERA to an even 3, and improved his record to 7-3. Raciel Iglesias his 20th save. An amusing moment when Juan Soto, who looks exactly like the cartoon character Shrek, waited too late to call time and stepped out of the box, only for Joe Jimenez to throw a fastball right down the middle for strike 3. Soto loves to disrupt the pitcher with his little chicken dance in the box, but this time the umpire wasn't having a late timeout after Joe had begun his windup, and it was the right decision.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Bravos in St. Louis tonight for the first of 3. The 1-2 Spencer Schwellenbach for Atlanta. The 2-3 Lance Lynn for the Cardinals, the former Ole Miss right-hander. Braves are 7 games behind the Phillies. The Cards are in second place in the NL Central, 5 games behind the Brewers. Sean Murphy behind the plate tonight. Ramon Laureano batting 7th in right field, and Forrest Wall batting 8th in left. And by the way, there's still time to vote for the All-Star game on AtlantaBraves.com. Time to get those Braves in.
Vote 5 times a day.
That's right. How many times have you voted so far?
I voted 614 times using awesome. Fake aliases.
You don't even have to do that.
I know.
You don't. The Braves put lefty Ray Kerr on the 15-day injured list with a UCL problem in his elbow. And now it's time for today's dysfunctional New York Mets story. Metropolitans closer Edwin Diaz facing a 10-game suspension, ejected from last night's win over the Cubs for having an illegal substance on his hand. Diaz thrown out by the crew chief Vic Carapazza. Before he took the mound in the bottom of the ninth.
Very careful,
I touched his
friend.
hand, Carapazza said. I grabbed his hand. The substance was extremely sticky, discolored. It definitely wasn't rosin and sweat. We've checked thousands of these. I know what that feeling is. This was very sticky.
Oh.
Insert your own joke here.
He never got to throw a ball. He never threw a pitch. They threw him out before he got to the...
It's probably good for the Mets. He's blown 7 saves and has an ERA of 4.70, so it's probably better for him.
There you go.
3-time Cy Young winner Max Scherzer finally got back on a Major League mound yesterday. Retired the first 13 batters he faced, 15 of 16 overall, over 5 scoreless innings in the Rangers' win over the Royals. The 39-year-old had not started since Game 3 of the World Series last year. He got a herniated disc in his back. His 4th and final strikeout Sunday, the 3,371st of his career, which matches Hall of Fame pitcher Greg Maddux for 11th on the career list. Ironically, Greg's brother Mike is Scherzer's pitching coach. Max is second among active pitchers with strikeouts, 215 wins, and 449 starts, trailing one man in each of those categories. Who is that man?
That would be Don Sutton.
I said active.
Oh, active. That would be, active.
Not the late, great Don Sutton.
Geez, I don't know. Active.
Former Tiger, former Astro, and now current Astro, I think.
Well, you got me. I'm sorry.
Justin Verlander.
Oh, well, there you go.
I should have said
he's 40-something here with a hot babe wife, as you could have
Kate
got
Upton.
me there. Yeah.
Here's a great bar bet question.
Yeah.
Name the only ball player to ever hit a home run in every single inning of a baseball game from the first inning to the 16th. Who is that player?
Oh, man. Over all time? Well, it's got to be somebody like Willie Mays or Babe Ruth or somebody who's
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays, yeah.
Well, in fact, the homer he hit in the 16th frame broke a 16-inning pitching battle between the Braves' Warren Spahn and the Giants' Juan Marichal. 16 innings, those guys.
How would
None of them come
you like to have watched that battle?
That's a game I'd like to go back and see.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Amazing. By the way, who is the only player ever to have 3,000 hits, 300 batting average, 300 homers, and 300 stolen bases?
Henry Aaron.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. Well, there you are.
Willie Mays. College World Series comes down to one game tonight in Omaha. Texas A&M and Tennessee split the first 2 games over the weekend, and that game yesterday took damn near 5 hours. And they got to do something about that. I ran out of popcorn, then I ran out of jelly beans. I had to break out the Nestle's dark chocolate-covered almonds to finish the contest. I was almost out of snacks. I'm telling you, it's too long. That's what she said. As of yesterday, the Aggies were winning the Jell-O Shot Challenge at Rocco's in Omaha.
No.
Their fans had gulped down 25,660 of the alcohol-infused pectin cups. The Volunteers fans, just 24,300. And a hearty thumbs down to NC State fans who managed to slurp down a paltry 2,700 of the tasty Jell-O shots. But what do you expect from the ACC?
Yes.
Texas fired baseball coach David Pierce today after 8 seasons in which the Longhorns won 3 Big 12 titles, but made only 3 appearances in the College World Series. How good has the Longhorns baseball program been? Since 1911, they've had only 6 coaches. At 100 and what's that? 113
22 years.
Or something?
Yeah. 12 years.
Amazing. Yeah, they've won 6 College World Series, but none since 2005. Georgia added another in-state prospect to the 25 recruiting class. Dontrell Glover is a 4-star offensive lineman, 6'2", 315 pounds, out of Langston Hughes High in Fairburn. Committed to Alabama last April, but after Saban left, decided he's going to Georgia. The Falcons are placing more emphasis on smaller, faster receivers this season, as players who can get open faster for quarterback Kirk Cousins to find is what they want. There were some big boys on last year's roster. The top 3 targeted wide receivers, Drake London, Mac Hollins, and Van Jefferson, all dressed out to at least 6 feet and 200 pounds. This year, the top 3 are London, Darnell Mooney, and Rondell Moore. London, the biggest, at 6'4", 213. Mooney, 5'11", 173. Moore is 5'7", 180. Whoa. As Drake London put it, slow feet don't eat.
Speed, baby.
Hey, forget rise up.
Yeah.
Slow feet don't eat is the Falcons' new slogan for me. The Chiefs have released defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs back into the wild after his 2 arrests in Bama this spring. One for allegedly being cruel to dogs, the latest allegedly being cruel to a woman. So like I said, he's working his way up the evolutionary ladder there. The Oilers are skating for history tonight, trying to overcome a 3-0 deficit in the Stanley Cup Finals tonight against the Panthers. The series is tied 3-3, so that should be interesting.
Yes, indeed.
6 narcissistic attention whore climate protesters stormed the 18th green while the tournament leaders were lining up their putts for the final hole of regulation at the PGA Tour's Travelers Championship yesterday. Delayed the finish for 5 minutes. Protesters came from all directions around the green and waved smoke bombs that left white and red residue on the putting surface as Scotty Scheffler, Tom Kim, and Akshav Bhatia, I don't know how to pronounce his last, Bhatia, finished their rounds. The Cromwell, Connecticut police said each protester charged first-degree criminal mischief, first-degree criminal trespass, and breach of peace, released posting $5,000 bonds, and Akshay said, "I was scared for my life." And he should be. Next time that powder could be anthrax or ricin. The spoiled brats need their legs broken live on national television. Enough with the coddling and interrupting events and blocking traffic and throwing crap on works of art. Just because we're civilized doesn't mean we can't hurt those trying to destroy our civilization. They're barbarians. They need to be taken out.
When you put them down on the ground and put their arm behind their back, a little extra something to put the shoulder out of location and maybe a little wrist breaking or something. Honestly, do not treat these people with kid gloves.
Yeah. Time to cull the herd. That's my opinion.
There you go.
It's bad enough when an MMA fighter gets pummeled in the ring, but Lucas Bukovac doubled down on his misery after his defeat in the Czech Republic last weekend. Lucas got down on one battered knee and held out an engagement ring to his shocked girlfriend. She put her head in her hands, and after an awkward moment, she said no. And then it got really awkward. She grabbed the microphone and said, "Based on everything that's happened, I think probably not. I don't think so." So the crowd started to boo her. So she raises her hand, quiets them down, and explains to the 20,000 people there the reason she turned him down is because Lucas had just been caught cheating on her.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
The two-time loser denies he cheated. And to make things worse, he and his fighting partner lost their bout when it was the two of them fighting against one other guy. 2 against 1. And they lost. And he still thought it was a good idea to ask her. As he's a loser, obviously. And she knows that.
Good for her, actually.
Yeah. The UK Anti-Doping, which is Great Britain's premier anti-doping body, in a tweet has banned boxer Moises Calleros from competition for 4 years due to a positive cocaine test.
Oh, boy.
But Calleros, being the gentleman that he is, has already banned himself by dying in Mexico March 1st.
Oh, well, now that's wrong.
The organization has since deleted their tweet. Never mind.
Sorry.
And just to show that dirt track racing isn't all fun and games, Sugar Creek Raceway driver Matt Corden is resting at home after a violent roll Saturday night. He's got fractured vertebrae, a fractured sternum, and a bad case of whiplash, and he's not in the hospital. These guys are tough.
Oh, my God.
I mean, went home.
A fractured sternum, your breastplate.
I know, it hurts.
How can you breathe? I mean, you can't. That's right. Oh, my Lord. Yeah.
And think about John Force.
What's that?
Yeah,
Robbins Racing.
Robbins Racing.
Yeah.
John Force, maybe the greatest NHRA funny car racer of all time, got in a bad wreck over the weekend. His engine blew, and it took him off the course and everything. He's in the hospital in the ICU. He's 75 years old, and he's still racing funny cars. What were you doing at 75?
Well, I can't remember.
Podcast with us.
It was so long ago.
You were sitting in an apartment in Dunwoody.
I was playing with horses and doing podcasts with you two clowns. Wow, what an exciting end-of-life adventure for my biography. By the way, do you have an opinion about Mark Schlereth? The former athlete and commentator and sports guy. Have you heard about his comments on Bill Belichick?
Stink? What did he say about... he says it's disgusting
Mark
and all that.
Schlereth said Bill Belichick looks like an absolute clown dating 23-year-old Jordan Hudson. Former offensive lineman turned Fox Sports analyst, didn't sugarcoat it. I think he's a pig. About 72-year-old Belichick and the 23-year-old date. I think he's a pig on his radio show in Denver. It's disgusting. It's awful. What are you doing? You look like an absolute clown. Boy, that's pretty strong for...
That's the attitude that's going to keep Belichick from getting another job, because that's the owners and the NFL is going to look at this and go, we don't need this.
Yeah, we can't do that. A birthday to Lionel Messi, generally considered the best soccer player, 37 years old, Lionel.
I have a question for you. Yeah. Okay, you got a choice. You can date a 23-year-old hottie cheerleader, or you could break Don Shula's all-time win record. What are you going to do?
I got to go with a babe. I got to go with a hot babe. I'm sorry. I just think at 5:30. I haven't lost it yet. I still have my mental acuity. See, I made the right choice. Don't give up on a Kimmer yet. 5:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Float. Oh, I got it.
It's time for your Georgia headlines, presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
All right, here's your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Monday, June 24th. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has been called in to investigate an overnight shooting involving an officer with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office this morning. No details of the shooting have been released, except that the incident occurred at a gas station off Fulton Industrial Boulevard. 2 men in their 20s were gunned down in the driveway of one of the victims' homes last night. Police say the gunman drove to the location, jumped out of the car, shot the men, and then took off. Police are looking for a white sedan that may have been heading to Mableton. Investigators believe the shooting occurred due to an ongoing dispute, but have not released any names. And in sports, the Braves will now head to St. Louis tonight to take on the Cardinals in a 7:45 matchup. You can catch all the action on our sister station, 680 The Fan.
For more on Georgia politics and the latest breaking news, follow XTRA 106.3 on social media or download the XTRA 106.3 app.
Hey, it's Tuck here with an important message as the weather heats up. Southern Exteriors is gearing up with unmatched quality and precision. For over 25 years, they've been delivering top-notch craftsmanship that you can rely on. And let me tell you, they're hotter than the campaign trail in July. Got a home exterior project that's got you feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. From roofing to siding, gutters to windows and doors. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co. Get a free consultation. Southern Exteriors, your home's best ally with any project.
Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now, the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a furniture or big box store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to install your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy safe in Georgia. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Insurance companies know that you don't know a lot about the law, so maybe it would be better just to let your lawyer make the call to the insurance company when there's a problem. David Van Sant should be that lawyer. He used to work for the insurance company. He knows who to call, what to say, and he has your best interest at heart. Plus, if you don't get paid, either does he. Van Sant Law, 855-GA Injury or vansantlaw.com.
Don't miss a minute of the action this season as Georgia Tech men's basketball takes the court in the Camas Pavilion in Midtown Atlanta. Into the lane, fadeaway jumper, he knocks it down, and a foul. Secure your seat in the Thriller Dome to watch head coach Damon Stoudemire and the Yellow Jackets take on top-ranked opponents all season long. Dives down the lane, shoots the scoop, and he scores! Get your tickets today at RamblinWreck.com. Sting 'em.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations on The Janelle King Show, where we tackle the topics that you won't hear at your family gatherings, but they're absolutely crucial for a strong republic. Don't miss us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3. But if you can't tune in, that's okay. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Join us for these discussions, and I can't wait to meet you there.
5:34. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how you doing? 106.3. Martin's coming up on the phone line, Mr. Phone. But first, the Stones. 1966. The Stones held a press conference aboard a yacht in New York City, and then the Stones kicked off their 5th North American tour at the Manning Bowl in Lynn, Massachusetts, near Boston, with support acts the McCoys and the Standells. Rolling Stones, 1966. 5:35. Our phone calls take first priority to the phones. It's Martin on 106.3 with the current Pete and Flounder. Hello, Martin. How you doing?
Yo, Kim.
Yes, sir.
So I was going to propose that we put together a pool.
Yeah.
Now, it's probably not the best choice, but for the debate.
Yeah.
And in it, the deal is the moment he stutters. So at what minute does he stutter at? And a minimum 20 on the pool.
The other you could do not only stuttering, but also but the first time he says whatever some of his favorite sex, like I'm not kidding, or all the things I keep forgetting what he shouts out when he's trying to think of what to say next.
Don't.
I think the odds are better on the stutter.
Yeah, the stuttering. I mean, clearly, he's going to be shaken up for an hour and a half. There's no way. I don't care how they spent 8 days trying to train him. There's no way that man can pull off an hour and a half live on his feet on live.
Everyone's talking about having him drugged up and everything. But,
yeah, he'll be hopped up.
That will only last so long.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll make it even to the 40-minute mark.
All right, 40-minute over and under on the stuttering. I'll give him 18 minutes on the stuttering. I'll give over under is 18 minutes.
About a short time, but I think the drugs will. I think they'll fall off after about 38, 40 minutes around there. But let's talk about the Flounder. Flounder, you need to make sure that she's not just a lover, but a best friend. And if you can get all of that together, then I say go for it. Otherwise, run!
Martin, now you stop that.
She's a keeper.
Thank you, Martin. And again, it was really. You should save that. In fact, we got to save that moment for her. That whole segment to get. I mean, seriously, to give that to her. And also, you should make a promo out of it. Flounder announced out of nowhere. I said, "What were you doing this weekend?" "Oh, we were looking for a house." Excuse me, looking for a house together. And so, I mean, and it was just, oh my God! Well, and I'm still,
I want to know: was there a certain moment that you just said, "Okay, I'm going to do this," or was it like a gradual?
Gradual, because I've always been a commitment phobe. I mean, my whole life, pretty much. I mean, I've been in relationships and stuff before, but the majority of my life I've been single, and she makes me happy. So.
And I think you will freely admit this, that she knows that she knew that. You've talked about it. This was not a surprise thing. I mean, and again, that's what makes. I mean, this Veronica, I'm telling you, is a very special lady. I can't believe that she hasn't been snapped up before now. I mean, she's just a remarkable.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell she sees in me, but
seriously, no. Well, I mean, no. Well, mean, you're a class act, you're a keeper guy, but again, this woman is really just, I can't say enough about her, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just, honestly, I feel the same way as when my kids announced I've had their special man or something.
And of course, you've done your due diligence. You've had her followed by a private detective.
Well, you checked her out, yeah. 5:38. By the way, don't forget Neil Bortz. Before I forget, Neil Bortz is going to be on the morning show here live in the studio tomorrow, 9 to 10 in the morning, on the last hour of the show, 9 to 10. We'll be in the studio because he's redoing his condo down in Florida, so they're living in their house on wheels, and he'll be here tomorrow morning with the morning guys, 9 to 10.
He's going at the exact same time. He's going to be doing to liberals what my doctor will be doing to me downtown at Piedmont tomorrow morning at the exact same time.
I wouldn't been trying to anyway.
You know what Trump should do? Whether Biden's doing great or not, about an hour in, he should look at him and go, "Are you all right?"
Well, yeah, I mean, really, do you need a break or anything?
You feel okay?
Do you need a cup of water?
You look a little peaked.
And bring him a cup of water.
You look a little peaked.
Soda?
Oh, my God. 5:39. Keep repeating flounder. Oh, by the way, just in, let me get my froggy things here. Down in Florida, the Trump case with Judge Cannon. Judge Eileen Cannon in the Southern District of Florida admonished the Department of Justice prosecutor today, during a hearing today, trying to modify Donald Trump's release conditions, including a restriction on his speech. The annoyed judge told the prosecutor at the day's second hearing one of his colleagues with the prosecution could take over if he wasn't able to adjust his tone or act within the decorum of the court. The prosecutor argued that the informal gag order was necessary ahead of the trial, as Trump's claim relating to the 2022 raid of his Mar-a-Lago property had potential to endanger law enforcement officers. This is a complete turnaround, you dirty, stinking liar. Let me continue here. This prosecutor provided examples of actions by supporters of Donald Trump after statements Trump made publicly, including attack in Cleveland, Ohio, after the search warrant came out. Trump claimed Harbaugh claimed Trump should be prevented from making statements that are specific to the case. He noted several FBI agents involved in the raid had their names public. Oh, now I just changed the damn thing. Here we go. Names public. He asked who made those, saying he wouldn't say. The judge was irritated by his response, a question why the prosecutors wouldn't come forward with information. The defense attorney argued during the hearing, pushing back on the request, saying the speech limitation is too vague. Here they go again. They're not even they don't even want him to speak. These freaking prosecutors, the Department of Justice in this lawfare, turning the Department of Justice against the presidential candidate, let alone a former president, so they don't even want him to speak. And they say, well, Trump said he was in danger of being killed. They were locked and loaded in Mar-a-Lago. And they said, that's outrageous. That puts the FBI agents in danger. I mean, everything they say, they're turning around. I mean, this is just crap. Absolute crap.
Jeff has a musical question here. Does it really take 7 days to memorize the answers to the debate questions from CNN?
That's right. They did that last time when Hillary Rodham Stinky Fart gave her the answers. Remember that snotty little, what's her name? I forgot.
But how dare you question him? How dare you question correspondents who have called him Hitler and have had questions given to them before by the DNC and handed to Hillary? How dare you question their veracity?
Yeah. There we go. Was on this day in 1717, the Freemasons are founded in London, the oldest fraternal organization in the world. Now, in case you didn't know, just for the record, the Freemason symbols may not be what you think. They have the all-seeing eye, the eye of providence, not designed by the Masons, used by a group to represent the omniscient power of God. Yes, the square and compass, a builder's square joined by a compass. The G remains subject to dispute. Experts at MIT said the G in the symbol center represents geometry, a critical field of the first Freemasons. Others believe it represents God, the grand architect of the universe. So there's a little dispute about that. Yes, there is a Freemason handshake. In fact, there are several Freemason handshakes based on one's rank. Each degree, apprentice handshake, fellow craft handshake, and the master handshake. Also in higher degrees, their own handshakes, quite a variety. The Catholic Church forbids members from being in the Freemasons. Catholics will not allow. They condemned Freemasonry in 1738 and all their secret rituals. And even in the 1800s, the Vatican called them synagogue of Satan. And one more thing, Freemasons are famous and they're everywhere. George Washington, a Freemason, Master Mason. Benjamin Franklin, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Gerald Ford, Freemason. Great Britain's Winston Churchill, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, a Freemason. Davy Crockett, Duke Ellington, Nat King Cole, Henry Ford, Paul Robeson, and Buzz Aldrin the astronaut were Freemasons. I had no idea. Nat King Cole? How would Nat King Cole become a Freemason? I mean,
maybe they had a African-American chapter.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you have to be invited, wouldn't you? I mean, you can't just apply for it, I mean, right? I mean,
my grandfather had the full funeral man, and this scared the when I was a kid. Seeing those guys dressed up like that and acting that way, it was impressive.
I'll bet. Holy smoke-a-rooties. 544, give repeat and flounder. Let's see. Hold on a second. Oh, I don't want to get to that thing here. Oh, for the record, the liberal website Snopes has now actually come out to say, well, you guys are right in the first place. Donald Trump never said they were great Nazis. And now the Trump campaign is trying to stop the Biden campaign from using these things about calling Donald Trump saying he loved the Nazis because it was not true. Even Snopes now says it's not true. The Charlottesville lie, a hoax perpetuated by the corrupt Democrats and their mouthpieces in the fake news media, like the Hunter Biden laptop, the Russian collusion smear scandal, all of that stuff. The fact check by Snopes said it was clear he was not calling neo-Nazis fine people. He was talking about people on both sides of the issue of tearing down statues. And he did say that all the white supremacists and neo-Nazis should be condemned totally. Therefore, we have rated his claim of neo-Nazis are good people as false. And by the way, let's not forget, President Washer's daughter also said, well, there are good people on both sides of the brutalized and slaughtered the Jews from October 7th as well. And nobody cared much about that. He certainly got away with that stuff. But not when Donald Trump. Anyway, politics here.
Well, that's what they do. They do the big headlines, roaring headlines, and then 6 years later they come out and say, "Oh, yeah, that didn't happen."
Yeah. Well, and if you don't think that's going to be brought up in the debate again, I'll tell you this debate. I am so looking forward to this debate. I mean, I just think this is going to be great. Anyway,
It's going to be great.
This is going to be great. And by the way, you know the guy. Remember the actor, the line from the famous movie, "You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls." That actor just got in trouble for beating up a bunch of people and showing up with a knife at somebody's door. Bizarre story. Anyway,
I believe it's Smalls is the one, not the guy who
not the guy who said it. But the guy who played Smalls who's got in trouble with the cops. He apparently freaked out, went after people with a knife, and just bizarre stuff. Anyway, you're killing me, Smalls.
Sandlot.
546. Give repeat and flounder. Here we go.
The Morning Extra is live weekday mornings from 6 to 10, and here's what you missed.
Listening on Friday to Kimmer. Well, apparently some girls were walking through to go to the Braves game again, and he started talking about...
See, you sound like a dirty old man. Come on now.
He's so horny. That's all it comes down to.
Been a long time. That's such a filthy sounding word to me.
He's a gentleman. He's a Marine. He's a badass, and he's really horny.
Yeah.
And
why are you saying that word again?
So if I can hit 2 out of 3,
I hate
3
that.
out of 4, you know, aren't you kind of allowed to be horny at that point if you're the other 3?
Stop.
Why does horny make you so?
I don't know. It's such an awful word. It's like periwinkle. I hate that word too.
Periwinkle?
Yes, I hate both those words.
Do you like my periwinkle shirt?
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning on XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2024 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead, with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. No matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
On this episode of The Real Houses of Atlanta.
Whoa, Bobby, what's going on?
Well, now that I'm the HOA president, I'm going to start cracking down on the neighborhood.
With a sledgehammer?
Oh, look, this place is looking rough, and nobody's moving right now either. So I'm telling the neighbors it's time to fix up the homes they have.
And what do you suggest?
Well, I'm telling everybody on the block about Exovations. They're right here, and they can get your house the facelift it needs. We're talking new siding, roofing, windows, doors, decks, even porches, patios, and porticos. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to start with Jim next door. Hey, Jimmy, you got a window out. Check the bylaws.
Hi, this is Candace with Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. Avoid an HOA headache and let us give your home the facelift it needs. We'll introduce you to our ExoVision, our very own architectural design that allows you to envision your home's transformation before you even start the project. Ready for your on-time, on-budget, and stress-free renovation? Visit exovations.com and book your consultation today.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on XTRA 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
XTRA 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
The Braves steal 2 games from the Yankees. Atlanta won 3-1 to win their series against New York on the backs of a 6-inning outing by Max Fried and a 2 RBI game by Jared Kelnick. Braves are now 8-2 in their last 10 games and will finish their road trip with a series in St. Louis and a makeup game against the White Sox. The U.S. soccer team won their first game in the group stage of the Copa America tournament. Soccer star Christian Pulisic scored in the first 3 minutes with a banger from outside the box and later assisted striker Florian Balogun in the 44th minute in the 2-0 victory. Their next game is Thursday in Atlanta against Panama. For XTRA 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan, I'm Joe Virgin.
For more local sports, head over to The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. And for the latest political news and talk, stick with XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
Going back to the old Timber days of rock and roll.
Did you ever see a man with no heart? Baby, that was me.
They all kind of sounded like the Partridge Family and the Hollies and stuff, like the Hollies here. 1965, Hollies at number 1 in Britain with I'm Alive. The first of 2 British number 1s and 25 other top 40 hits. The Hollies originally passed the song over to another Manchester band, the Toggery 5, then changed their mind, recorded the song, was written for them by songwriter Clint Ballard Jr., an American guy there. The Hollies. 5:52. A couple of birthdays of note. Nancy Allen, the original RoboCop hottie, is 74. She was also in Dressed to Kill, the movie with Angie Dickinson, the Hooker movie. And Nancy Allen, 74, in RoboCop. Peter Weller, also the original RoboCop, is also a birthday today, 77. The 2 stars, same birthday, 74 and 77. Also, hold on a second here. Minka Kelly is 44. Dove on Titans, but you know Lila Garrity on Friday Night Lights. Minka Kelly's dad is Aerosmith guitarist Rick Dufay, who Joe Perry thanked for, quote, committing career suicide during Aerosmith's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acceptance speech. Dufay joined the band for that unremarkable period after Joe Perry and Brad Whitford left. He's the one who convinced Steven Tyler and his depression and addiction were out of control, and he needed to reunite with Joe and the band. Anyway, Minka Kelly, that's her dad. Minka Kelly's 44.
You know, she's normal looking with her black, brown hair, but when she puts that white hair on for the Dove character.
Well, you got to love that. You got to just go all the way there on the thing there. 1997, Halle Berry divorced David Justice, a baseball player. 2000, Natalie Maines married a hero star, Adrian Pasdar, at a little white wedding chapel in Vegas. It cost him $55. And the marriage of Natalie Maines lasted 17 years. And in 2010, Megan Fox married Brian Austin Green on a Hawaiian beach with Brian's 8-year-old son, Cassius, as the best man. There you go. A couple of things there. 5:53, Kevin Pete and Flounder. Oh, what a horrible story. A guy named, Jerry Garcia Guerrera was told that his wife's car broke down, so he drove his other car to the scene of his wife's car and jacked it up and started fixing it. That was about 9:30 in the morning. A few hours later, the police found out that he was dead. Apparently, the jack on the car failed, and it crushed him and killed him. Here's the bad news. There were witnesses, and the witnesses not only saw it happening when he was dead, they went through his pockets and stole everything. And they also stole the car that he drove in, his wife's car, to come and fix the other car. They robbed him when he was dead, went through his pockets, and there were witnesses seeing them do it. And nobody did squat. Nobody did squat. Good Lord. Genevieve's, 86-year-old guy crossing the street, didn't look where he was going. They call him Tony Cakes, Tony the dessert man. Tony Cakes was Tony Canigliaro, 86 years old, former head of the Genevieve's crime family. And he was walking in the he didn't go in the crosswalk thing, and a guy driving a Department of Transportation city truck in New York killed him and chopped his head off. Chopped his head off. Okay, flying clean freaking off. And the last part of the story says the DOT driver looked teary-eyed. He was devastated. We know why he was crying. He's probably asking for witness protection. And by the way, people are saying, oh, my God, he's going to be taking it on the lam. He beheaded a Genevieve's crime boss? Oh, my God.
Bad day at the office.
Well, the word, by the way, taking it on the lam was a word that came from the Pinkerton Detective Agency in 1900, used by pickpockets to alert others to danger. Get the lamb. It means let him go. Let him go. The other word was a verb meaning to beat soundly. As boy, you got lammed him pretty good in the English language in 1596. Scandinavian origin, like Old English, llama meaning lame, and to run off. To beat it.
And let's don't confuse Tony Canigliaro with the left fielder for the Red Sox.
No, who lost his eye. In fact, I used to see those guys play. I lived in a town that had, well, he damn near did. I mean, it changed his life forever. It was never the same, but still. Anyway. Let's see. Oh, this we don't really have a lot of time. We may have saved some of the stuff for tomorrow. But a 30-year-old woman has come out with a social media thing about the sad reality of a young person right now trying to make friends. They're lonely and trying to make friends, and it's bizarre because they're increasingly, despite their connection with swiping and posting and tweeting and texting and Snapchatting and direct messaging and sharing their locations on social media, and they can't find friends. This young woman says, in a leap of faith, she went up to this other girl at the store and said, I don't have a lot of friends. Would you like to go get coffee sometime? And she was so freaked out by it that the girl said, yes, I can't. I don't have friends either. I mean, okay, here's an idea. Put down your phone. I mean, it all comes back to not being, everybody says, oh, I wish I had friends. I don't know how to make friends. I wish I had confidence to make friends. Dear Lord. This is social against yesterday's cigarettes. I'm telling you, it's hard for people our age because of the lasting impacts of the China virus, not socializing. So everything is on a screen. You interact, everything is on a screen. You feel so isolated. Our life is done through a screen. We're interacting with each other much less. Well, no kidding.
You want to hear some bad luck?
I do.
Man wins $4 million at casino, then dies moments later of a heart attack.
Oh, God.
A man who hit the jackpot at the Marina Bay Sands Casino in Singapore won $4 million and then died moments later from cardiac arrest due to the shock and the excitement.
Oh, my God. And just an update. Tom Guidry was the guy in the movie Sandlot. Assault with battery in South Carolina. He was Scotty Smalls in the Sandlot movie, charged with assault and battery, malicious injury. He freaked out. Let's see. He threw a dumbbell through his neighbor's windshield of his Jeep and then went up to his door with a knife or something, just totally freaking out. So you can't look very good at that. I got 5:58. Flounder's Funnies, Nuckies, Hoagies here with a Kipper Pete and Flounder on 106.3.
We have an unwritten rule in our society that allows it to function. It's called the let it go rule. Someone cuts you out in traffic, you let it go. All right, you don't follow him home and murder his wife and child in the front lawn, you sociopath. You let it go.
Oh, yeah.
Someone gives you bad service, you leave your tip. I used Yelp once. Woman wrote 16 paragraphs because she had a dry blueberry muffin. I get about halfway through this review, I'm going, hey, Marcel Proust, are we still talking about muffins here?
Marcel
We're into the fourth chapter of Remembrance of All Things Past. Because one of these muffins starts talking about something in the first person. I'm out of here. It's breakfast. McDonald's nailed it. Go through the drive-thru. Oh, I was a little disappointed with breakfast. Oh, here comes War and Peace. They were the best of eggs. They were the worst of eggs. I thought the egg yolks could have been 3 degrees cooler, given the barometric pressure and the fact that it's been a dry fall, considering we're in the middle of a dry... Hey, Tolstoy! Shut the f*** up and eat it! There's a line out front.
Who's that, Flounder?
That is Mr. Jimmy Schubert.
Jimmy Schubert.
I'll have to find some more of him.
Anyway, all right, boys. Yeah. Zoltan Kipper, gotta go. You're killing me. Well, with Pete Davis and Flounder, Christine, sing me home, baby. And tomorrow all over again. Neil Bortz in the morning, 9 to 10. Herp and Herp right here in the studio. Look out. Here we go.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. on WFOM Marietta, Extra 106.3.